Hello, and welcome back to the Metalheads podcast. My name is George.
This is Buke.
This is Jay.
And we are back again for another episode. We just had the privilege of speaking with Mike Hill from Tombs, and we're going to play that interview for you in a moment. But before we do, any thoughts, guys, on the interview?
I want to say, first off, Jay, he sounds badass.
He kind of does, doesn't
God,
he?
he sounds...
That's why I kind of I mentioned I thought he might have a Brooklyn accent because I thought, well, this sounds like a guy I wouldn't necessarily want to cross. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you will hear in this interview, or if you're going to play it after this, however you're going to do it, George, that Jay and I both twice, while it was a great interview, fucking swung and missed hard a couple times.
Yeah. You gotta. I think you had to be very particular about the way you phrased things. We're a little more loosey-goosey, so, but overall, I think
extremely nice guy.
I think he was cool with it,
yeah.
so.
Give us this time on this Saturday. He gives us an exclusive, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, a scoop.
Scoop.
And it's just nice to talk to a guy that we are all fans of, too. So that was cool.
Definitely, all big fans. So I guess without further ado, let's play you the interview. This is the Metalheads podcast. My name is George.
This is Buke.
This is Jay.
We are here today with Mike Hill from the band Tombs. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing awesome. How's everyone doing?
We are doing well.
We're doing great. Hey, Mike, first thing, George and I have to ask, we were at Maryland Death Fest. Has the Death Fest hangover wore off yet?
I didn't have a hangover because I very rarely drink alcohol. So
okay.
Did you mean?
I was actually going with the sense of 4 days worth of music, sun, heat.
More of a metal hangover.
Yeah.
Well, I can never get enough metal, so I'm not hungover at all either. I have a high tolerance for that kind of stuff.
We only did 2 days and we were beat.
Great show today.
Yeah. Fortunately or unfortunately, we were only there for 1 day, so I didn't get the full impact of the whole festival, which there were bands I wanted to see on the other days, but just our schedule only allowed for us to be there 1 day.
Okay. Did you check out any of the other bands the day you were there?
Oh, 100%, man. I mean, well, first and foremost, Neurosis were amazing as usual, though I could have used another hour of music from them, but I understand that, there were some constraints. Winter were awesome. I'm a huge fan of them for over a decade at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I also never seen Primordial, and that was a band I was forward to seeing. Demolish obviously were great, and all in all, the day was really cool, man. It was a lot of fun, and I got to meet some people and catch up with some friends I haven't seen in a while. So it was awesome.
Excellent.
Talking to a lot of fans out in the parking lot, and the days leading up to it, you guys were on the tops of many lists that people were excited to see, and it was our first time seeing you, and. You guys coming out with Savage God there fucking set the tone for that whole day.
Awesome.
Yeah. Seeing you guys, I'll just make it known right now that George and your guys' album was, where we have it, George, 2 or 3 for album of the year almost.
It was number 2 last year, yeah. Triptychon was the only thing that topped you.
I would have to agree with that Triptychon is definitely better. I mean, I always give props.
It was tough, though. I mean... But pretty much as soon as both those albums came out last year, Triptychon and Savage Gold, I was like, boom, this is what's going to be it for the year. And it just rode the whole year out, and nothing could topple it.
I got to save face, too, and tell you, I wasn't actually on the pod last year, which is why you weren't on my top list, because I didn't have a top list. But huge Savage Gold fan, huge Tombs fan. So you're talking to 3 guys who are really into your stuff, man.
Yeah, we're going to nerd out on you.
Oh, cheers! Thank you.
You sound like you're actually. I know you got your band is from Brooklyn. You sound like you're actually from Brooklyn.
No, I'm not from Brooklyn. I've been living here for quite a while, but I grew up in outside the city. I'm a suburban guy.
Gotcha.
I'm not a born and raised Brooklynite, and
I grew up. That I know nothing about accents.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, I grew up in the Hudson Valley. Sort of like a little bit further north of here.
So at Death Fest, Buke and I, we were like dead center, front row, right on the rail, looking up at you the whole time. And I couldn't help but think, I don't know if you probably didn't recognize, obviously you wouldn't recognize us, you don't know us, but you might have looked down and go, look at those 2 guys just kind of standing there staring at me, not banging their heads or anything. And I don't know. It was partly awe, I think. Partly I've been doing this a really long time, and I just don't. My bones are too old.
Yeah, I'll step in and say this for George, and we'll get this at the questions later. But George, with being into metal for 4 decades now, is it, George?
Since the 80s.
Yeah, since the 80s. Once you heard the Savage Gold record, I remember you calling me saying there's something there.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, Mike, did you realize what you guys had at the time when you sat down to start working on this?
Not really. I mean, it's just a bunch of raw material when we get to that point. And, it's just what sounds good to us as a band collectively and, what makes it through the quality control filter that we all have. If we like it, then that's all that matters. And really, it's awesome that people enjoy the record. But I never have the kind of ego where I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be the next
I know what you're saying,
thing, man. I never feel that way about anything. I can always hear little things I could have done better, or I'm like, man, if I had another day, I would have nailed this better, or if I had another week or so, I would have done this differently. But I never think that anything's really complete, until we stop playing the songs. I mean, even the songs on that record, we're playing them live, and with every passing month of playing them live, we seem to be adding like different nuances to even the execution of the songs. So it's really hard to.
And but I watched a video a couple of nights back, just trying to get all the tunes that I could leading into Death Fest. Didn't you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it Savage Gold, the track that you said you got the riff for that when you were doing a sound check?
Yeah, actually, well, the first song, there's the intro, and then there's Thanatos.
Yeah, Thanatos. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Thanatos riff, that we wrote that in a sound, or I was sort of playing around with that riff in a sound check, and then we just ended up using that as the song we checked with. So it wasn't really a song; it was just a riff. That main riff was something I kind of came up with on the spot, and we just did it in sound check, and I remember like practice later that a couple weeks afterwards. We were just like, what was that riff you were playing?
Hey, glad you didn't. Glad you don't drink, or maybe that riff could have been gone for the ages.
Yeah. It's not that I don't drink, man. Like I have every now and then I have some kind of craft, like expensive beer.
That's us. Yeah, we're doing a metal podcast here, but we're sitting here drinking fancy craft brews.
Yeah, man. It's like I appreciate the finer things in life, and it's not like I'm against it or anything. I mean, I everything in moderation. That's kind of like my ethos there,
Mm-hmm. Hey, not to jump in here, you mentioned you wish you'd had another day for this and that, which I think is a common theme, when recording an album. But do you mind if I ask how much time did you have to record the album?
We had about 2 weeks to do the tracking, and probably like another 3 weeks where Rutan spent mixing and editing and like cleaning everything up and, like editing out all the guitar noise between, what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of little tedious things. Like Rutan, number one, Eric Rutan is probably the most meticulous engineer I've ever worked with in my entire life. And he brings out
a bit of a legend too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a legend. And his approach to the whole project was like meticulous. That's the only word that comes to mind when I think of Eric Rutan. And he spent a lot of time like just, there's like you can hear like little noises here and there. He pulled all that stuff out, so it's like the super clean recording, and he just put it all together in the mix, and that took about another 2.5, 3 weeks or so. So all in all, it was about a 5-week project.
Go ahead, George. Well, I was going to kind of jump into something deep and personal, to be honest with you, which I think we all, I know I do, and George, and I'm sure you do, Buke, we all have copies of the album on vinyl.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's helpful to have the nice liner notes and lyrics, and I spent a little time with the lyrics. And also I noticed the album is dedicated to the memory of 2 people.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you wouldn't mind talking about that a little bit. And I'm assuming that since it's the memory of 2 people, they're no longer with us, and also there seems to be a lot of themes of death and on the album and the great beyond. So please. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like I'm out of turn speaking about those 2 because they're not really. I mean, there other people would be better informed to talk about them, but generally, yeah, there was the lead up to that record. There was the specter of passing on to the next realm was like lingering. And I mean, I just don't feel like it's my place to speak out about some of that stuff right now, but I can give you an overview of what the situations were. because I'm not sure how much the people involved really want.
Yeah, fair enough.
That information floating out there, but yeah, I mean, there was right up to the recording session, there was possibility of somebody passing on, and we were definitely in the grips of that whole thing, and so that's why the record's dedicated to the passing of two people.
And I'm assuming, are the lyrics influenced by that then, or?
Well, the lyrics, in a sort of universal way, I guess they are, because I started writing those lyrics. I mean, my process involves notebooks and journaling and stuff like that. So the lyrics were something I've been working on for probably years since we did the session for Path of Totality. So I mean, those themes were something that are always like something I always meditate on, is like death, these changes of state, and those kinds of things. But maybe in a more of a cosmic sense, the two things sort of converged together, and there was this sort of continuity between the overall arc of the cosmos and like the things that I was working on, and maybe they all came together. That's the only way I could really describe that.
Oh, that's very clear too. Yeah, that sounds well. Thanks for sharing that, man. I mean, I know those are deeply personal things, and it seems like a deeply personal record to me. It's
personal, but in some ways, it's something I think that it's more. It can, other people can relate to it. It's personal because some of the things that motivated the writing of the songs is personal, but also the experiences are something that are pretty universal, I think.
Right on.
I've got sort of a long-winded career-spanning question that I wanted to hit you with.
Sure, man.
All right, so as a fan of all three albums, I decided to go back and sit down and play them back to back to back to just sort of get an impression of how things have changed over the years. And so I wanted to hit you with my impressions of just a quick sentence, description of how I see each of the three albums and like the changes between them. And then I'd like you to tell me how full of shit I am.
Yeah, man, go for it.
And tell me what you really think about each of these. So Winter Hours, I felt like had a very post-metal, post-hardcore sound. The production was a little brighter than the next album. Path of Totality sounded a lot darker to me, a lot like the black metal element was becoming more prominent, and the production was kind of ethereal and almost foggy. It is a very big sound. But then Savage Gold, when that came out, was much cleaner and tighter sounding, possibly the Rutan influence. And it definitely sounded more matured and maybe even a little more progressive and experimental. I noticed that the lead guitar work seemed to be a lot more in your face than before.
Yeah.
So I guess, I mean, how do you feel about these descriptions of these albums, and would you describe them differently?
No, I think you're pretty right on with all that stuff. I mean, Winter Hour was definitely exploring, more, like you were saying, like kind of like the post-metal, post-hardcore, sort of like vibe. But, I think that I find that to be pretty limiting in what you can do sometimes. I mean, I like that expression, but, at that particular snapshot of where we were at in our, career, quote unquote, that was something we were all interested in exploring. I think that Path of Totality is almost a transition record between between Winter Hours and Savage Gold, because it's like aggression, more like elements of darkness, and there's a more blackened vibe to it. But the production, I don't think captured that as much as it did on Savage Gold, and that was like a transition, like a step between what we were trying to express on Winter Hours, and actually the EP that came before that too was like very much in that realm. And where we're at with Savage Gold. And, and Savage Gold was like, one of my biggest criticisms of the way the first two records sounded was that the drums weren't as like attack oriented, and it didn't punch as hard, and there wasn't as much of like an impact. And I felt that was really one of the reasons why we wanted to work with Rutan, because he's like a master at that sort of thing.
Was he someone you or the band searched out, Mike? Did he hear you guys' stuff and come to you?
I definitely searched him out. He was someone that I've been wanting to work with for a long time. And coincidentally, right around the time that I contacted Eric, he actually had become aware of the band. And he was like, yeah, this sounds really interesting. It's something different for me. And, and there was like definitely an interesting period when we were discussing what we wanted to accomplish on the album, because I think Eric, only having heard our other records and not having spoken to us individually, probably thought we had something else in mind than what we actually wanted to do. So that was like a really cool period of like, this is our demos, we're looking more for this kind of sound, yet we want to, maintain some of these other elements from the other records. And so, I mean, that Savage Gold is definitely more of what we collectively are looking for as like a creative kind of statement. You know what I mean?
Okay. Hey, can I ask you this? Your keyboardist, has he been in the band the whole time?
No.
Okay. I tell you what, that guy's energy on stage, forgive me for not having his name right now, you and him combined with the vocals and stuff, and you guys stage presence, what an on-stage scene that was.
Goosebumps.
Yes.
It's great, man. I mean, he's that's his name is Fade Kaner.
Okay.
He's been involved with a lot of different things. Right now, currently, he has like a one-man project called Static Bloom. That's more in that sort of industrial, electronic, like extreme electronics. Mm-hmm. Did a tour with Corrections House late last year, and he's still totally active with that. And then the band element, he's a member of Tombs full time, and he joined up late last year after we finished the Pallbearer tour. We started working together, and we have about an EP's worth of material that we've written together, and that's the first half of the set was mostly all the stuff that's brand new. So
that's cool.
Well, I would love to hear about that Pallbearer tour a little bit, and also what you guys got coming up too.
Yeah, definitely, man. The Pallbearer tour was something we got offered, mid last year, and the tour happened in the fall, late fall. And it was, I would say, a half U.S. tour. Like, we didn't go out to the West Coast with them. It was, like, broken up in two different legs. And the first leg and the eastern half of the country we did together. And it was a lot of fun. Like, I didn't know those guys personally prior to that. And they were really cool guys. And we had a good time on the road. And sort of another really cool thing was meeting the band Vatnet Viscar. Who
I heard nothing but great things about them at Maryland Death Fest this past week, too.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're great. And they probably more in line with the kind of stuff I listen to than Pallbearer is. So I enjoyed their set every night, and I really, really, enjoyed getting to know those guys as people. And they're actually going to be here in Brooklyn tomorrow. So I'm going to see those guys tomorrow night.
Cool.
They're playing with 1849. The tour was great. It was fun.
Awesome. Speaking of bands that you like, when I listen to a Tombs album, I gotta wonder, what are the things that you grew up listening to that led you down this path?
May I also quickly hop on that? I saw on a Spotify playlist, your first song on there is a David Lynch song. Does that go back to a childhood thing maybe for you? Maybe some influence from your mom or dad or something?
No, I love David Lynch's stuff, man. I mean, I was way into him my whole life. It's, as soon as like Blue Velvet, like that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah. As far as what I mean, that soundtrack music specifically now, I'm way into listening to soundtracks. I mean, John Carpenter, like I just picked up the Halloween 2 Death Waltz LP, and they put out that Death Waltz puts out all these like cool remastered soundtracks, and the Beyond the Black Rainbow soundtrack, Altered States, like that stuff. I'm listening to a lot of that kind of music these days. But to get back to your original question, really for me growing up, my first love has always been metal, and it was like Black Sabbath, Scorpions, Led Zeppelin, except then like the more extreme stuff like Celtic Frost, Metallica, Slayer, thrash, metal, Exodus. And then it was punk and hardcore, mainly because the first time I heard punk and hardcore, I was like, I don't have to be that great of a guitar player to play this stuff.
Yeah, that's the way I felt when I heard the Ramones.
Yeah, the Ramones were the first punk band I ever heard them. And then it all came down to me hearing Black Coffee by Black Flag one day, and that was like, okay, this is like a game changer.
It's actually possible, right?
Yeah, and it's like a game. That was a game changer. Like the intensity of that song and the guitar solos. And like, to me, it was like fast Black Sabbath, and you can't go wrong with that. So those are kind of like the key elements of like the early music I listened to when I was a kid. And then as I got older, the stuff that I really gravitated towards was things like, Swans and Joy Division and Bauhaus and, Fields of the Nephilim, Christian Death, like bands like that were early, because the imagery of, the sort of extreme metal imagery with like death and skulls and, darkness and all that stuff fit really nicely in with, Bauhaus and, Swans and Christian Death and all that stuff. And, and then it was death metal and then black metal and now it's stuff I'm into now.
Yeah, I see you prominently have your Emperor sticker on your guitar there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
you're also too. There's a piece online too that you're a fan of Godflesh, their Street Cleaner album.
Oh yeah, I can't forget. I don't know how I forgot to mention that. When I got into death metal, it's like I was having this conversation recently. There was an article that came out, and I think it was Spin, that talked about death metal, like like in the late '80s or early '90s, and I read that, and it covered basically all of the the earache stuff, and they mentioned Godflesh and Napalm Death and Morbid Angel, and that's how I got into death metal. Honestly, I was reading a Spin article, ironically.
The last place you'd probably expect to read that.
Yeah, really.
Oh yeah, man. Back then, it was like they actually covered real stuff, and now I remember Godflesh was one of the first quote unquote like extreme death metal, even though it's not a death metal records I picked up, and I got Scum and Godflesh, Street Cleaner. And Scum, I didn't really get it at first. I was like, oh, this is cool, but I don't know. And then when I put on that Godflesh record, I was like terrified. I was like listening to this. I'm like, I don't even know if I like it, man. I know that this is like, there's something here, but I don't know if I like it or not. And then over the course of those following weeks, it kept like coming up in my subconscious, like, yeah, this is like something,
It's like watching a car accident. You want to look, but you don't.
Yeah. And then like about a month after I bought the album, I was like pretty much all in with Godflesh, and that was ever since then I've been a huge fan of theirs.
To kind of just bring us back to the Savage Gold for a minute here, because I'm kind of staring at my copy. And do you have any comment on the cover art and the art on the album in general? We have the gatefold. Can you talk about that a little bit? There's the symbol on the back, which I'm interested in, but also this sort of cube on the front. I wonder what's the concept there exactly.
Well, Thomas Hooper is our the guy who does all the paintings for the album covers, and basically the way that artwork happens is I send Thomas like my lyrics and little writing pieces and just bits and pieces of images and stuff that I think is cool, and then I send him demos of the songs, and then he sort of spits out a bunch of ideas that he comes up with through listening to that material, and the cube. When he sent me that stuff, I was like, this stuff just all resonated with me on this like level. And that's the symbol on the back is like our, signature symbol. That's something we've been using since Winter Hours. And, that's what it's sort of our identity. We identify our stuff with that symbol. And, so that's why it's on the album. It's on pretty much all of our stuff. And, the cube. I mean, when I saw the cube, my impressions of it were, with the album lyrical content having to do with like passing into different realms of consciousness and, different realms of reality. Like that cube to me represented the borders of what our known universe could possibly be. And then there's another infinite number of other fractal universes that exist outside of that cube, and then we're just like one tiny section in like a continuum of alternate realities and things like that.
Deep.
Can I just say that this fulfills all of my I'm 44 years old, but this fulfills all of my 15-year-old dreams to sit here and stare at this record cover while you talk about it. Like that's just such a satisfying thing, and I'm glad it was such a thoughtful process. You know what I mean? Like for just a moment. But it was like Greg say, well, here's why I did that on Number of the Beast, man. So that thanks for doing that. That was very cool. And I Buke about that coffee too.
Yes.
Coffee.
if you go on, I saw, correct me if I'm wrong, your guys' Bandcamp page, I think maybe your website, Savage Gold Coffee. Are you a coffee connoisseur?
I'm a guy who loves coffee. Yeah, man. I my whole life I've been drinking coffee, and in the last couple of decade and a half, you can actually get really, really quality coffee now. So pretty much anywhere, and it's always been a huge interest of mine. And with today's environment, having something online is pretty much the way to go these days.
Did you actually go out to the fields and meet with farmers and select beans and, like do what you see on TV, get like a handful of beans and, taking a real deep breath with them and smell them?
Not yet. That's a goal. I mean, I won't.
Let's make it fucking happen.
That's the end game. That's the end game.
Also, I think we could play. You should be piping your music over the plants, man. You know what I mean? Just to really, really drive that Savage Gold thing home.
So can you order that coffee online?
Yeah, you can go to the website, savagegoldcoffee.com, and you can order it or you can join this club where I send it to you every month.
Nice. I'm definitely going to check
we
that
got to get in. Yeah. Now,
yeah, and I'm also looking to open up a spot out here. I'm actually, the game plan is to open up a couple different locations, in New York State, and I'm in the middle of like working out like a business plan to open up a location in Brooklyn here where you can get the stuff by the cup. And I'm also, there's a thing here called Smorgasburg. I just met with them about having a stand at their summer thing going on where people are going.
That's awesome. So is that something you go ahead? Is that something you do then? Right? I mean, you were actually quite literally involved in the roasting and things.
No, I'm not a roaster. My roaster is up in Syracuse.
Gotcha.
He's this guy Jesse Dano, who is a roast master. We came up with the roast profile together, and we figured out what kind of beans we want to use and that kind of thing. And so yeah, I'm just sort of like the business guy, I guess, or the guy who makes it all happen behind the scenes.
Right on. Hey, I wanted to kind of turn you on to something, just two things. I mean, I'm sure you've seen a million reviews of your record, but there's a great record store here in San Francisco called Aquarius Records, and they really deal almost exclusively with, some extreme metal, but also a lot of underground kind of post everything, you know what I mean? But anyway, and this guy writes these wonderfully, insanely obsessive reviews, and I had actually bought my copy of the vinyl there. And he is completely obsessive. He writes with this very small handwriting, but he also puts them all on the Aquarius Records website. And I just really want to suggest, if you get the time, to go to the Aquarius Records San Francisco website and read the review of Savage Gold. He was just really well thought out and very kind to it. But I just kind of under the fact that was out there.
That's awesome, man, because I'm a huge fan of that record store too. I mean, in my trip to San Francisco. Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. Yeah, it's great. I always find something I want to get there.
Me too. Every time I walk in, and he's a fan of yours too. Apparently, then that's a great shop.
Cool. I should say hello to those guys next time I'm out.
Hey,
yeah, I always find a bunch of stuff that are experimental things and kind of like I'm into that kind of vegan folk stuff. Like their blue tarsh, like stuff like that.
Right on.
Hey, Mike, I'm sorry. I was going to ask him that.
Go for it.
Mike, are you a vinyl guy too?
I am, but I'm not opposed to MP3s either.
No.
I mean, I'm not I travel a lot, so I can't carry a record player around. So
is there one vinyl that you, if anyone's listening, they can help you get your hands on?
Your holy grail.
Oh man, where should I start? One vinyl that I want that I can't get my hands on, because I feel like these days you can pretty much find anything.
Yeah, with the internet and stuff like that.
Yeah. Maybe Souls at Zero. I don't have that on vinyl.
The band?
No, I'm sorry. The Neurosis. Here we go. Neurosis original pressing. Souls at Zero.
I just got that.
The one that
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got the Rod version though. The one that came out on Alternative Tentacles is what I want.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. This was like a relapse.
Yeah.
I'm right next door to Oakland, man. I'll keep my eyes open for you.
There's probably copies floating around out there.
Yeah, I should think. And we got a lot of good little vinyl stores here. But I'll put that on my little search list because I walk into the shops frequently, and if I get it, it'll come your way, dude.
Now, you also, for our listeners here, if anyone's a fan of mixed martial arts, Mike, you also do a mixed martial arts podcast, correct?
Well, it's part. I do a podcast that covers mixed martial arts occasionally. I mean,
Okay.
It's the Everything Went Black podcast. You can find on iTunes and all these other places. Like all the other platforms out there. And the podcast is not specifically about MMA. It's about I've had guys at bands, friends, jiu-jitsu practitioners, like Muay Thai guys, like MMA fighters. We talk about like our old drummer Andrew and I break down upcoming UFC events and things like that. And a lot of it also is like people who kind of combine all these things. Like I had a judoka / spiritualist on like recently, and I talked about that and different stuff. It's not specifically one thing or another. I guess it's like a lifestyle kind of podcast where we talk about music and art, and martial arts and training and fitness and things like that.
Do you yourself, seeing you up on stage, you're pretty fucking jacked. Do you do pretty intense workouts?
I train Muay Thai pretty much every day, and I dabble in jiu-jitsu. I used to be a lot more involved in jiu-jitsu, but I had an injury recently that's kind of kept me off the mat with that particular martial art for a while. But I'll be back doing that over the summer. And, just martial arts keeps me fit, keeps my mind clear. And occasionally I'll throw around some kettlebells and do some deadlifts and things like that.
So if the ears start getting messed up, we know that you've taken your training to another level, huh?
Yeah, maybe,
Hey, what did you think of the last title fight? The two title fights in one night. That Chris Weidman fight was pretty nice.
Yeah, my money was on Weidman for sure. I think that he's the only guy that might be able to stop him is Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold's on a tear, and Weidman being, I wasn't always on board with him, honestly. When he beat Anderson Silva, I thought that was kind of like a fluke. I'm going to be honest about that. But over the last couple of years, I've grown to become a supporter of his, and I like his camp. I think the Sarah Longo camp has a lot of really good fighters, and Ally Quinta's involved with them, and I'm a fan of his as well. And I just didn't see Vitor stopping him. Vitor's got a lot of mileage. He just came off TRT, and who knows, like physically, where he was at. And I think that fight pretty much played out the way I thought it was going to. The Cormier Anthony Rumble Johnson fight.
Boy, he got rocked a couple of times. I thought he was going to lose, huh?
Oh yeah, I thought he was going to get that first shot where Rumble knocked him down. I was like, this might be it.
Yep.
But I got to be honest, Cormier fought the fight that I thought he was going to fight, since he's got a wrestling background. Like he's a wrestler, with strikes. And Johnson, though he's a wrestler, he's primarily a specialist in boxing and kickboxing. And the way to neutralize guys who throw kicks and strikes is to put them on the ground and smother them and just wear them out. And that's basically what Cormier did. And I'm happy to see this champ. It's controversial for sure, because he was defeated by John Jones.
Yeah.
John Jones vacate the title, but it is what it is. He won fair and square, and they deemed him to be the champion. So we'll see how his defenses go, I guess.
Yep, that's definitely we'll see moving forward here. Well, Mike, we don't want to take up more of your time. Let me ask you one last question for me here, Jay and George. What are the plans for Tombs moving forward now? You guys going to be touring? You have any new album ready? I know you guys probably are always writing, always doing stuff, but what's in the pipeline? And also going with that, do you feel any sort of, because I know you said you don't really play to the reviews and all the album of the year lists and stuff like that. Do you feel any pressure to kind of live up to what Savage Gold was in the press?
Not really, not at all, actually.
Okay.
Okay. I honestly don't ever read a lot of reviews in general, because I don't have a very high opinion of music journalism.
Yeah.
That, just like the whole.
Luckily, we're just podcasters, so fuck them.
Hey,
No,
I wrote a review.
There's more validity in this medium right here.
Because you know what the whole thing is. I say this also. I'm a big video game player. just like with video games growing up, you can hide behind a fucking message board, type away. When you try and put your words to it or actually talk to somebody face to face, it all goes out the window.
Yeah, I mean, and also the minute you're reacting to, you give power away when you start reacting to what people say about you, and you let that, like that sort of criticism. I mean, there's one thing. There's people whose opinions I value, and they're not journalism people. They're people who are involved in the creation of music and who know about the process, and then journalists in general are people who are maybe failed at playing music and this is their way of expressing themselves, and just like the smartest.
That's me.
That's George.
Yeah, but like I'm just being honest.
No, that's cool. I mean, my philosophy is that there's so much good music out there that I'm only going to write about stuff if I like it. I don't see any reason to write about something and trash it. That's just, what's the point of that? So I only cover things that I'm excited about and want to say good things about.
Yeah, I mean I delve in that world a little bit, and when I do write something for a website, it's always something that I care about. It's never like I don't get on, get myself all psyched to like smash somebody. Like that's not the way I am, because music is such a subjective thing.
Because he can take it out on someone's face later.
I mean, music is like a personal thing. It's like, I like a lot of stuff that people think is cheesy. I love Dokken. I listen to the first 2 LA Guns records all the time. And that's like not, that's not something that most people would probably think is really that cool,
but no one's going to say it to your face. They suck because you're big and scary looking.
Nah, man. I'm like totally cool with people, man. Anyone can come up and talk to me. I don't have any problems with anybody. I just like, it gets weird when it's online because everyone is like a faceless entity out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the one thing I don't like.
That's why I sign everything. Put my picture up there. You know where to come.
No, that's great.
So you guys have any more tours the rest of the year? You playing any other festivals?
Oh yeah, we're doing a Roskilde festival in Denmark in July, and that's just like a fly out thing. And I never heard of it until we got offered to do it, and I just thought it was going to be just another type of roadburn style fest. But it turns out that it's actually one of the largest fests, or probably the largest fest in Scandinavia. And,
wow!
I'm sure
we're not sharing the same stage, but the day that we're playing, like Kanye West and Paul McCartney are also playing. So,
well, that's different.
It's like that kind of thing. But the stage that we're playing is like more extreme music.
Yeah, Mike, wouldn't it be fucking crazy if you look over to like on the fucking drum riser to your right, it's just Paul just watching you?
Oh wow! I really dig what they're doing there.
I would be. Although I'm not a Beatles fan, I have tons of respect for Paul McCartney. And that would make my whole year.
That would be fucking amazing.
So, is there any chance that maybe next year we might see a new record?
Actually, I'm going to tell you, I'll do you a solid. We're actually recording an EP in July after we get back from that festival.
Yes.
So there will be some new music available by us this year.
Excellent.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
Then we're doing a Hopscotch Festival in the fall, and there'll probably there's more. Very likely that there will be a short tour around that, which will go through Baltimore. So
excellent.
We'll be in the mid Atlantic states for a few week or two probably around that fest.
We'll see if we can make that. So is there? Do you have a release date for that?
No, actually, this is like a pretty low key thing where I'm just scheduling the mastering, and probably right around Hopscotch Fest is when it's going to be out. So.
Okay.
I don't have an exact.
Oh, that's a scoop. You've given us our first scoop ever, man. That's awesome.
That's it.
Exclusive.
And Jay, you have any more?
No. I really just want to say thanks. Know that there are people out here listening to your records. We're listening to your records. I think they're great. It's fun to watch your growth, and we're so happy that you came on, man.
Yeah, and Mike, I'll just echo what Jay just said. Again, we're huge fans. Spending the whole weekend talking to fans at Maryland Death Fest, Tombs came up in every single conversation.
Oh, cool,
so
man.
you guys are really doing something special. So keep it up,
and we'll keep spreading the word to anyone that'll listen.
Yes, and more importantly, thanks for spending your Saturday here.
God, that's no problem, man. Like this is like a pretty prime time for me. I mean, it's not like I didn't have to get up early or any of those things, and it's noon. So,
Well, can I have one last question? Where's the best place to get Tombs merch? I couldn't find any shirts at Death Fest.
The website?
oh, we had a table at Death Fest.
Really?
We were like right next to it was just in winter, the way in this corner. But yeah, as far as getting merch from us, like online, Relapse carries our shirts. You can go to our own web store, which I think most people don't know exists, and that's on tombscult.com. And you can also go to Shirts and Destroy and Shirt Killer. And Shirts and Destroy I think sold out, and Shirt Killer actually has a great, fairly new design that's up that my friend Glenn Smith did for us, and it's a 2-sided shirt, and it's available only there, so it's an exclusive to Shirt Killer.
I'm assuming that Savage Gold double disc gold discs are all gone, huh?
Pretty much. We have copies that we're selling at shows, so
Sure. So when you come through, we'll put a couple extra bucks in the pocket.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got one.
Of course you do. Of course, this fucking guy.
I've got
But I
them all.
mean, I think Relapse is like they repress everything. So I mean, there's like later pressings of the record available still, I think.
Right on. I got to have that gold one, man. But I'll find it when you come through.
Yeah, I'll
Cool.
see if we got any left for sure.
Hey, that's that second website again. That was T-Shirt Killer.
Shirt Killer.
Oh, Shirt Killer. Okay,
It's shirtkiller.com,
cool.
and they have like a fairly new, maybe a few months old design that's up there right now.
Right on.
Very cool.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap this up then. Like I said, thanks for coming on.
Awesome.
Hey, George, you didn't even. Mike, I can ask you anything you
Thank you
want
guys
to.
for
You have to plug anything you want to mention.
No, I just want to thank everyone. I mean, those are just really nice things you guys said, and I just thank everybody for listening and coming out to the shows, and it means a lot to all of us. And if you guys definitely come up and say hi next time you see us, and we're here to fucking kick it every time.
Excellent. We'll check out.
Cool.
We'll check out the
Coffee
dates.
together.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
a lot, man.
We'll talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye bye.
You got it. Bye bye.
All right, so there you have it. That was our interview with Mike Hill from Tombs. We're going to have to keep our eyes and ears out for that new EP he mentioned.
Do you think they'll put it out on vinyl?
That's a good
I was
question.
wondering the same thing. We should have asked him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Everything else is.
Yeah, especially since he's on Relapse, they're pretty good about that.
Yeah.
Jay, you
Yeah.
would love their booth. Relapse Records at Death Fest was a single for 15 and a double for 20.
Which was a very good price.
Yeah, an amazing deal. See, Skype's locking up for him.
What? Just a little bit, yeah. I'm back now.
Yeah, it just...
Yeah, I was saying that Relapse at Maryland Death Fest was a great deal. Singles were $15, doubles were $20.
Hey, man, let's get into it. Let's talk about Death Fest.
All right,
Yes.
let's do that. So I think first off, maybe we'll just sort of give our overview. And I know Jay had questions that he wanted to ask us about the experience. But
Not too
broad
faced.
view, if you haven't been to Maryland Death Fest, you should fucking go. It's a great weekend. I mean, we only went to 2 of the 4 days. That in itself was grueling. I know the Nine Circles guys did 4 days, and that must have been just...
The grueling thing about it was, as George and I were getting home, I'm checking Twitter, and Portal, what's that, from Australia?
I don't know.
One
what
of
it
those.
was.
Yeah. They had not even finished. I don't even think they started yet.
Yeah.
By the time we got home, they went on at
Like
12:45 at Soundstage, George.
That's rough.
Holy cow! And what time does that start in the morning?
It started in the morning at noon, 12:30.
Yeah, around noon.
Yeah, that's a
It
day.
didn't end till 1:45 Sunday night. Now, like George and I talked about, and you'll hear it at some point for our little recordings at Death Fest, is that like any other festival, it is one band finishes, there's no gap, maybe a minute or two, the next band comes on.
Yep.
It is a wall of noise.
Yeah, if you're
For
not
just
wearing
the 2
earplugs,
days we were there.
If you're not wearing earplugs, that's definite hearing damage by the end of that, because it's just a constant barrage of, extremely loud music.
Yeah. So you were saying though that is how it was, that they're one after another. That's how it's working at the Death Fest.
Jay, if you walk in, to set the scene, you walk into a huge... George and I only had tickets for the Edison parking lots. And you walk into this huge fenced-off parking lot. To your left was a little vendor alley merch area. porta potties are to your right. But then you walk in, one stage greets you in front of you, huge open parking lot, about like the size of a football field or two. Then to your left, there's another stage there.
About 45 degrees off to the left.
Yeah, literally 50 yards between stages. And one band finishes, you just turn.
Yeah.
You can watch the next.
That's cool. That's actually kind of a cool setup, though.
Yeah. You don't have the 15, 30-minute changeovers between sets. They did something like that at the M3 festival, but much less successfully because at M3 you couldn't see
second stage there.
It's off in the woods in the back. You literally can't see one stage from the other. You have to climb up a hill.
You have to leave the pavilion too, right?
Yeah, you have to leave the pavilion, go up the hill, go over the back, and then it goes down and then into the woods to see the second stage. And they were going pretty much back to back as well. So if you finished one band, you were going to miss the first song or two of the next band, making your way back to the other stage.
So it sounds, well, hey, they got it down to a science then. That's cool. At the Death Fest, man. That's cool. Though it does sound, I have to admit, exhausting.
And, the first day the weather was really nice, so it wasn't so bad. You're drinking beer all day long. And just
some of us more than others.
Yeah, I wasn't that far behind. And, but then the second day, that heat was fucking grueling. That was just wicked. It was just any chance you could get out of the sun, you had to take it.
I napped. I know Corey from Nine Circles took a nap. It just beat it out of you. And that's how these festivals kind of work now. When a band plays that you really don't really care for, I'm not saying they're bad, you can go back to the car.
Yeah, I wanted to check out the Demi-Lich set on the second day just because, they're one of those classic bands. They have one album 20 some years ago, reuniting for the festival is my understanding. But that was just too perfect an opportunity to go take a quick nap.
Yeah.
So
the one thing though that I didn't like is it wasn't like barbecue in that with it being the constant wall of music, we weren't able to talk to the number of fans that we were at barbecue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's more. It's the parking lot was it. Mm-hmm. And even then, I don't know how people were getting there because that parking lot wasn't full for as many people that were there.
Yeah, as our little secret there for next year is the parking lot right across the street was not even
a third full.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jay, the cool thing is, sorry, George, the cool thing is you can, like when I bought your vinyl, you can walk right out to the car.
Yeah.
And if you talk real sweet nothings to the security guards like I did, you can expedite your re-entry.
Yeah, we didn't have to go through the line again and get checked out again. And
very cool. That is nice, man. And those things matter to make it through a long day like that. Like we had talked about Wacken one time, but I don't know. Could I really do it? You know what I mean? I mean, that's sleeping outside. And
Yeah, well, we were talking to Corey from Nine Circles about that because he went last year. And after our Death Fest experience, it does kind of sound like Wacken would be like the death of us.
But, Jay, a cool thing that what our friend we met there said, what Corey said is that there's companies there. Think of like REI here in the States, like an outfitter camping company.
Sure.
You actually go to them and REI would have a tent city there.
Oh,
like,
you just rent a tent.
Where like going to a hotel, you rent your tent for the days you're there. It's already set up for you. You have like a tent number, and just like getting a room at a hotel, you just go to your tent.
That's kind of hip.
Yeah. That had kind of was one of the things that had kind of worried me. I'm like, do I have to buy a tent and do I have to bring it with me? And how do I, do I have to, convey a tent from the United States to Germany, or do I have to buy one there? Or how does this work? All these, me with all the detailed questions. I'm like, I need to know, where do I poop?
Yeah. And Corey,
do I have to bring bags? What's going on here?
And Corey did say though that there's like 6 or 7 stages, but when you get to
12 actually
12, yeah. When you get to the stages that we see on YouTube, the main stages where like Emperor and all those bands would play, you. Maybe like a mile and a half away or something. Like you're watching it on
half mile or mile or something.
You're watching it on a big screen because there's hundreds to thousands of people there.
Oh, really?
100,000.
Yeah,
120.
I bet they've got I bet you could spend some cash there too. I bet they got kick-ass merch tents there and stuff, man. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen it. Like it shows up in various movies, like in that Headbangers movie, whatever that's called, Headbangers Journey. That I feel like you really got to look at the kind of culture around there, and it looks like a metalhead's dream.
I'd kind of like to go to one where I don't really care about most of the bands, so that we could just go wander around and just talk to people. And
it's this kind of background noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Running Wild would play, like they'd like open the show so I could see them finally after 30 years. And then everybody else is like, power metal bands I don't care about.
Yeah, you guys got a thing about Running Wild. Who was it that you were, a couple episodes ago, you were trying to, there was somebody we were talking about, what was it? And you guys were like, had they heard of Running Wild? Who was it?
It was his German ride-along.
Yeah, it was my ride-along at work. I first off, I said, you ever heard of Wacken? And he's like, yes. I was like, hey, do you listen to metal? No, house music.
Yeah.
All the German people listen to house music.
All European music. I'm going to generalize all European people. Go ahead and tell me to fuck myself. And but it's like all the hockey players. They all listen to house dance electronic music.
Well, hey, they still call their clubs discotheques over there, man.
Right on.
Jay, speaking about that real quick, are you going to be watching the game tonight?
Yeah. Did you? We also got to mention that last 2 minutes of that Chicago game, dude. That was so crazy.
Jay, I was upstairs. I was like, okay, yeah. I was getting home from work. I said, yeah, Ducks have this one. I went to bed. I check your Facebook. Holy shit! I got to turn this on.
I literally that was just like coincidence. I don't remember what I was doing, but I think I was playing guitar, and then I walked out and I was like, I'll turn on and see what's going on with the game. And I literally tuned in at 2 minutes left, which was right when it went insane. And it was just like, in 2 minutes, I saw the best hockey game I saw all year. It was so fun.
So is Boudreaux gonna fucking tank it tonight, or what do you think? Is it going to be Blackhawks?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
The fucking Rangers are out. That's good.
Yeah.
King Henry couldn't win a game 7.
Yep.
And
we'll see.
See, but the thing is, Jay can't say the fucking Ducks.
I can't go with it.
He's a Sharks fan.
You can't do California teams if you're. Yeah.
Well, I'm rooting for the Ducks.
What's that?
I'm rooting for the Ducks.
Fair enough. Hey, also you saw we got. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we got a new coach. We got Peter DeBauer.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, man, crazy. Hey, so I want to ask you guys some questions, unless you guys want to throw it. I think they're going to hit the things you would
hit them. Hit us with the questions.
All right, well,
these nuts. And these nuts. Got him.
First off, I want to know from both of you what your favorite two performances were.
Primordial.
Oh, of course.
And it's a tough one.
Wow, I thought you guys would have I thought it would be right at the tip of your.
Oh, I'm set. I'm just waiting for him.
Just waiting.
Probably Tombs.
Oh, okay. Good choice.
Right on. I have to go with 3. Sorry. First of all, the obvious Triptychon.
You had to be your favorite, right?
Yeah, Triptychon was just fucking badass to finally see them.
And you got a picture with them, by the way.
Yes.
Just throw that out.
Minus Tom Warrior, but yes, all the other 3 members. And I got to say my second favorite was Skepticism, followed closely by Tombs.
Primordial doesn't even make the list. That's fine.
Hey, they would probably be. No, they wouldn't probably. They would be 4. But
Skepticism was fun.
That Skepticism blew my mind.
They looked awesome. They sounded good. They played the part. But just after being in the heat, I guess, after the long day with the slow funeral doom, I was a little bored.
Well, we did go to sleep after that. we did go, oh, it was good. Let's go to the car and take a nap.
You don't think it was just a little, ugh.
Well, I was tired, yeah, but what kept me on my feet was how fucking cool that set was. So
I went and checked it out. I went and looked it up because there were some videos online and stuff. And I'm assuming, did you know them before?
I did, but I've never, it's funeral doom. It's slow. It's plotting, it's heavy, but I'd never seen them play before, and I don't think I've ever actually seen a Funeral Doom band live before. And really? I expected that to be pretty boring, that they just stand there and play slowly. But the stage presence that these guys had, and what they did with those moments in between were just so cool.
And the guitarist kind of looked like George a little bit.
You mean my brother?
Yeah, your brother. So it gave you some hope that
it could happen.
Yeah.
could happen.
Okay, I'll move you on. I got a couple more questions for you guys. And one is, did you both did either of you discover anything you didn't know? Any bands you didn't know?
Serpentine Path. The Serpentine Path, I'm sorry.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I knew them.
I went out and bought their vinyl right after their set.
Right on.
I'd have to look at the set list of bands.
George left Blood Red Throne. You left Blood Red Throne pretty. I know you know of them, and it wasn't new.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
new singer, but you left pretty excited about them.
Yeah, they had a good set, and their singer looked like Matt Freeman, our friend Matt.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anybody that I hadn't heard before, and that was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Goat Snake also.
But Skepticism was a pleasant surprise, so that can be yours.
Right, yeah, because just completely unexpected, the stage show that they gave us, it was like, wow. You know, as I mentioned in the in our field recordings that may or may not ever see the light of day, they were all dressed up like for a funeral. You know, they were in like tuxedos, and the singer had like the white bow tie like untied,
boutonniere,
and like and he was like slightly disheveled looking, like you might
forlorn,
like you might look right after you got home from a funeral, and you untied it, and you're just like, oh my god, this fucking sucked, and you know they just looked so cool. And
no, I like that. That shows a little commitment. You know what I mean? I'm into that. I'm sold. You know, very cool. Okay. So I do want to know about the merch stuff. Like, how is that situated? Yeah, I know you said Relapse had a kick-ass tent. Just
imagine being able to ejaculate for days. That was the merch area.
Yeah, probably the first 15, 20 vendors you walk past, each of them had. Sorry, my wallet's fucking huge. The first 15 or 20 vendors you walk past, each of them have boxes upon boxes of vinyl. What struck me, Jay, was the number of people buying CDs.
Yeah.
Extremely interesting.
Those ancient and obsolete objects.
Yeah, a lot of people were buying CDs. A lot of shirt vendors. A lot of patches, again.
Yeah.
We plotted what we were going to do to get our vests and patches.
Yep. George told me if I do an Opeth back patch, that's too fucking dipping your toe in poser.
Yeah.
I need to go more obscure than that.
It's like nobody had any Opeth gear on at this show, you know, and he was like, what's up, man? No love for Opeth.
No, I commented, I said, oh, nobody's wearing it.
Do you guys ever heard of Opeth? I'm an Opeth fan. And then we saw one girl with like the O tattoo on her back of her shoulder, and I pointed out, and he got all excited.
And it was a tattoo, so that's real.
Jay, the merch, anything you could want, really, for the most part. Again, the vinyl. They didn't even have like your Ozzy vinyl. They had just metal.
It was all like heavy stuff and like,
awesome.
You know, a lot of obscure stuff that even I've never heard of.
Great prices.
Was it like individual vendors, like guys coming in with huge record collections? Is that the kind of thing it was, or?
Nah, mostly it was labels, and I mean, Relapse was there, Nuclear Blast, Gilead.
Indie merch store, Omega.
Yeah, Omega. And cool. A couple of just like, you know, online stores, Crucial Blast, stuff like that.
Cool. That sounds awesome, man. And that would be just like, I could waste a hell of a lot of time doing something like that. So that's perfect, man. What about,
we each dropped a couple $100 in there.
You did, yeah. Some on my behalf, which was greatly appreciated. But we'll talk about that when we get to vinyl gets.
Yep.
What about the food and beer situation, that kind of thing? Is there like vendors on site?
Yeah, it was actually pretty decent. The food prices weren't bad. Even the beer prices weren't that bad. I was expecting to pay like $12 for a beer. And you could get a Natty Boh for $6 and a Stella for $8. So we dumped a lot of money at the beer stand.
We drank a lot in the parking lot too.
Yeah.
I started off Sunday drinking two 24-ounce Coors Lights. In the like 10 minutes, and then some of the Nine Circles guys, Dan and Corey, had some of their brews.
Yeah,
get some
check-ins. Did you know them? Did you already know those guys?
And like I always do, slut myself out on Twitter.
Yep.
So how did you know who they were?
I just followed them. They had done the prior metal podcast.
Yeah, they used to do a podcast called Horns Up. Used to listen to that. And,
did you set it up to meet them there, or were you like?
They just said, "Hey, anybody coming to Death Fest?" I'm like, "We are.
Yeah.
Right on.
We like beer."
Yeah, and so we met up with them.
Nice guys.
Yeah, they're good guys. Dan and Corey and
Kevin.
Where are they from?
Dan is from New York.
Corey's from Boston,
New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And Kevin is from the Baltimore area, I believe.
Wow, all different directions. So not unlike that.
They're college friends who
Right on.
knew that they liked metal back in college, and they said, "Hey, let's do a podcast."
Yeah.
Cool.
So it was cool meeting them. Shout out to you guys. And, whenever there was some downtime, we'd head out to the parking lot, see if they were there,
Right on.
have some more beers, discuss things.
How many people were there in general? Like, what does that crowd look like?
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Oh, really?
I don't know. It seemed like
maybe
couple
Not
thousand.
as much as the pictures
Yeah.
have you believe were there.
Yeah,
The
pictures.
stage pictures.
All of your pictures and videos that you shared with me, I felt like you guys were really able to get like a good spot. You were never that far from the stage.
No, yeah, it was pretty much. It was pretty easy to make your way up to the front if you wanted to. The pits weren't that bad compared to other shows that I've been to. It was surprisingly, you think Maryland Death Fest, all these pits are going to be fucking horrendous, and they weren't that bad. It was pretty easy to avoid.
But of course, they come right in front of George and I.
Yeah, why is it that every time they crowd surf to the front, the security drags them out, they run to the side, and they come back in, and they always, every single fucking one of them has to cross right in front of us.
I kid you not. That is a weird phenomenon that happens with me too at shows. I'm always the guy that's standing right at the place where the line to the bathroom or something walks right through. Why I look like the guy you could just walk in front of, I don't know, which is fine. But yeah, weird, man.
Yeah.
We're line magnets.
But,
Let me see. There's some other stuff I want to ask you. Oh, like what's the area that it's like located in general? Is it like an industrial area or what's the deal?
Just a parking lot.
Under the bridge downtown. That's where they played some metal.
And George and I actually made it out safe after Baltimore had 39 homicides in the month so far.
They had 8 people were killed like that weekend we were there. 8 murders in Baltimore.
39 homicides in 1 month.
What's going on in Baltimore?
I don't know. I
don't know.
heard something about some guy got killed or something in the news. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of shit going on in Baltimore these days. But I mean, we really didn't see anything.
That was it. You guys kind of covered all my questions. I want to know about the merch. What does it look like? Where were you at? Sounds like it was nice one day, kind of hot the other.
So can we expect you to be participating next year?
Yeah, seriously. And more time. You gave me more time. It'll be more time. No, it better be the best damn set list. It will. No, man. You'd be surprised. I show up places. I'm going to come out and go with you.
He's like, where's Waldo? It's like, but it's more like, there's Jay. There's Jay. Hey, turn on the TV. There's Jay.
I was spiritually with you guys, and I was definitely thinking about it the whole time. And I was like, oh, man, that sounds like it was so much fun. So, and I would come anyway. So,
and I'd tease you with a picture in the morning and then nothing all day long because I'd forget.
yeah, I was definitely waiting for information. But
I was posting stuff to Twitter, and it was like, I was like, he'll just see it on Twitter.
And I did. Okay. You guys strung me along pretty well. I did feel informed. It looks super fun, man. So cool. Awesome, guys.
All right. So something that Jay posted on Facebook yesterday made me think about something that we ought to talk about, which is I want everybody to name your very first musical experience as a kid that you remember in terms of something that you really got into. And, for me, my very first remembrance of liking music in any way is the Monkees. You remember
I was wondering where the connection was from yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. The old Monkees TV show. I used to come home from kindergarten or whatever, half day of school and turn on the Monkees. And I so got into that theme song. we had this old acoustic guitar that I'd gotten from an uncle sitting around the house, and me and my friends from the neighborhood, we'd go out in the front yard with this like acoustic guitar and like a tambourine and like a pickle whistle and scream the Monkees theme song at the top of our lungs. That was like, that was my first band.
It sounds like you guys got beat up a lot as children.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it was just my mom's stereo. She had we talked about this once. I mentioned it. It was like an old piece of furniture, you know what I mean? Like this cabinet, and you opened it from the top, and the speaker was in the front. It was this old, and just the records she used to play, like Neil Diamond, Simon Garfunkel, stuff like that. And so it was like I used to lay there in front of that as a very small child and just listen to the music and like stare at it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have a ton of memories just like that. But they were all that. And it was my mom's record collection. She liked Cat Stevens, Neil Diamond, Simon Garfunkel, shit like that. Definitely.
Right on.
And I had countless moments like that. So I would have been probably anywhere from 2 to 5 years old.
Excellent. Buke, what do you remember, like listening to Kanye West at the knee of your mom like 5 years ago?
I was riding in the car with my mom. My dad really didn't listen to much music. Him was conservative talk radio. My mom was classic rock, like Elton John. Mm-hmm. That's why, hey, I'm an Elton John fan.
I guess that's why they call it the blues.
My first live musical experience I saw when I was a kid, I saw Cats with my parents.
Right on. But
and I saw.
But did you think it was cool?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I owned the Cats vinyl.
Okay.
And you know what I also thought was cool? Michael Flatley's Lord of the Dance.
Yeah,
yes. That was like when the River Dance stuff was out. I went with my parents. It was awesome.
You went to it. You saw it live.
Yeah, we saw it live. It was awesome.
Yeah, the funny stuff that you like. I mean, I still like the Monkees, frankly, but yeah, I was really kind of a late bloomer for music in general.
Yeah, like I told you, I didn't listen to metal till Pantera's last album. What's that? 2000.
Yeah,
I'm a lot younger than you guys, but
right. I mean, my first album that I bought was Styx. Kilroy Was Here with Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was in like 5th grade.
Is Renegade on that?
No, that's
no, it's before. Yeah, this is like later.
It's like 83, somewhere around 82, 83, something like that. And I mean, before that, I had like been really into like John Mellencamp. He was known as John Cougar back then. I borrowed a cassette of American Fool from a guy in the neighborhood and used to play, what's the song? Hurts So Good. Like over and over and over and jump on my bed. And
Hold on, let me get a mental picture there. Especially because of the theme of that song. Hurts so good, you're jumping up and down in the bed. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah. So somehow I made my way to metal by like 6th grade. But
I have a theory about Buke and Pantera.
Yeah.
And it's that you heard it. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but you heard it and got into it because through football in high school.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
I knew it, man.
My high school,
which is what I hated about Pantera in the 90s.
I swear to God,
friend said, I'm sorry.
God, that's it.
Speaking of, do you know how awesome it is? You guys obviously can't see this, but we have a TV monitor. We're looking at Jay here. So we have purchased some stuff, so we're not stepping on one another. So I can see Jay here, and I saw the big excitement on his face. Because, yes, it was leaving football practice. And my friend said, Buke, you're too much of a pussy. I think in my car at the time, I had like the Star Wars soundtrack.
Yeah.
On CD.
And God, I knew that. I meant to bring this up several episodes ago.
Yep.
I just knew that's where you got it.
And Reinventing the Steel came out that day, and he took me to Best Buy with him, and we got it. And it was
right on.
It was all from there.
Well, that's a good memory, though.
And then I met him, and I said, you need to stop being such a pussy that only listens to bands like Pantera. Not that there's anything wrong with Pantera. It's the people that only listen to Pantera, and they're like rednecks, and they're like, I'll listen to Pantera, and like maybe some Disturbed, and I like to smoke pot, because Pantera's got pot leaf on that shirt, and I like that, so that's why I like Pantera.
Or guys just open their beer with their teeth, like I just did.
Well played.
Hey, man, you got a broken tooth now. But, so then I had to turn him on to some even more real metal.
Do you remember the first metal album you bought, Buke?
Ugh,
Was it Pantera record?
probably Pantera stuff.
What was the second one? Another Pantera record.
Yeah,
It was no. I know what it was because I saw them on tour with Pantera. I bought Soulfly's first album
oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
because they opened up for him.
Right on.
And Morbid Angel was on that tour with Nothing Face.
Really?
Interesting.
Very interesting. That's a weird tour.
I saw Morbid Angel on what must have been, had to be the Altars of Madness tour.
This was the gateways for them.
It was
Right.
it was the very first Michigan Death Fest in 1990, and Morbid Angel headlined it. And based on, I didn't know them at the time. I'd sort of heard the name, but I didn't know them.
Where are they from? Are they from Michigan? But
No, they're Florida, I think.
oh, Florida. Okay.
But based on when things came out, I'm pretty sure it had to have been like for the Altars of Madness. And so I'm
Which is-
like, sweet, I've got cred. I saw them on Altars of Madness tour.
Yeah, it's true, man. That's one that you should be bragging about.
Yep.
Now their lineup is going through so many changes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're weird now. Yeah,
If they're going to do another album, they need to drastically lay off the fucking industrial and make some metal.
It's strange. Yeah, that's one of those bands that took a weird right turn somewhere that just threw a lot of people for a loop. Yeah, go figure, man.
Should we get into some news?
Let's go.
Let's do.
All right. Well, the first two items are left over from the yesterday's Saints session that we just didn't have time to get to. So, kind of moldy oldie, but still thought we'd talk about them. First one being that Guar fired Volvatron.
Yeah, what was it about?
Sounded like she was drinking too much.
Yeah, go figure.
Sounded like they warned her, and she, there's two sides to everything. She was drinking too much, getting drunk before the shows. They came to her and said, "Hey, you need to calm down on your drinking." And she's like, "But wait, you guys drink
do,
heavy?"
right?
But they're like, "No, we're not new. We've been in this band for decades.
All right.
You don't have any history here.
It's
You got to
just-
prove yourself." They warned her. Apparently, she didn't stop, and they kicked her out.
Yeah, and apparently didn't tell her directly either.
Yeah, I think she said she read it on the internet, right?
Yeah. So that kind of sucks, but I guess you can't miss what you didn't know. So
Well, she's hot, and I was looking forward to seeing her at barbecue this fall. So
she was at Death Fest.
I feel like was she the only girl in the band right now?
Yeah. No, she was there with Matt from yesterday's Saints. I saw it on his Facebook.
I think they know they need a female presence in the band, though. I bet you there'll be a girl there, Barbie. They're probably actively looking for a new
I think they may have
Volvatron.
already had one already step in.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe so.
We shall see.
We shall see.
But how do you know she was at barbecue?
Because she was in a picture with Matt from yesterday's Saints. Her name's Kim Dilla, I think.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, I had reached out to Matt. I was like, "Hey, you're here?" And he was like, "Well," I think he was there Saturday night briefly, but he wasn't there Sunday. So by the time I talked to him, he was already gone.
I can't trust you to talk to anybody, though. Just
What?
Next time, let me talk to him. Then we would have been having a huge rager in the parking lot with Volvatron in the back of my
Well, he
Prius.
didn't respond until the next day. So
Oh,
With Volvatron in the back of my Prius.
hey, it was a very roomy Prius.
It is a very
I will
roomy
give him
Prius.
that.
George and I were green going to Prius. Going to Death Fest.
There was room for both of us big guys to curl up and spoon and fall asleep for a little while during Demilich. All right. The other news item that carries over, there was recently this HBO documentary about Nirvana, not exactly a metal band, but it's called Montage of Heck. It's sitting on my DVR. I haven't watched it yet, but I was a big Nirvana fan back in the early 90s. And according to, I don't know, it was like the director or something like that, they're apparently going to rape his corpse for more money. Yeah. They've found his personal collection of music, and there's some unreleased material that will be poured out to the public this summer at some point.
I heard about that. I didn't watch the whole documentary, but I just happened upon it it was maybe in the last 2 weeks. And I was sucked in because it's really well done. Like what they did is all these his journal writings, and they have somebody read those. And then there's he actually kept a lot of journals like on cassette tapes, and they like animated it, and it's pretty brilliant how it's done, I have to say. So I couldn't stop watching, actually. I mean, I did stop watching, partially because I didn't get to see the beginning, but I think I'll go back and watch it from start to finish.
Right on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'll be curious to know what you thought of it when you see it.
I'm still trying to get through the Lamb of God movie. I started watching that on the plane in April. My wife and I flew to Orlando, and so I was like, let me put like a short movie on my phone that I can watch on the plane. But I was so fucking Xanaxed out, I like got on the plane, sat down, turned on the movie, and just immediately nodded out. So
did you watch it too?
Fuck it, I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
I haven't.
But yeah, gotta check that out.
Is it on iTunes?
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I saw it. It's good.
Is it good?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's nothing you kind of don't know, but it was weird to watch it unfold, and it really did kind of come out of nowhere, the whole charges, and it was a shame, too, because it was really kind of like Randy was kind of getting himself together and had kind of quit drinking before that, you know what I mean? And then suddenly he's faced with like this biggest test of his life. It's actually pretty riveting, man.
And listening to him, too, maybe they touch on it in the movie. Jay, was there any question about what stood out to me is that he didn't have to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is one of the single most solid things about his about who he is the fact that he cared about justice being done.
Yeah.
He believed he was innocent, but he cared enough. He could have, when he got out on bail, he came back here. He could have said, "Fuck you, Czech Republic, never coming back," and then just never gone back. They couldn't have extradited him, but he went back and faced and won.
And he's so sincere in the movie talking about those exact facts, and that you just come away really admiring him. He really says he did it because that family needed some satisfaction to see this kind of like process through, and he felt it was his responsibility to go there and be part of it. You know what I mean? Or, I don't know. I mean, he says it better than I ever could, but yeah, I mean, I think you're going to walk away impressed with him. Plus, you also just kind of get to see their private lives, which is kind of cool. I was interested to see how people live, and you sort of see their houses and cars. One of them drives a Prius.
Yeah.
You'd be glad to know, Buke.
Yes.
Actually,
yes. If it's Chris Adler, I'm in great fucking company.
It's actually Chris Adler, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, it's cool. Totally worth watching, man. Which kind of, by the way, if I may be so bold, leads into our next news item.
It does indeed.
Oh, look at that trip. Give this guy an FM job.
I was already thinking that too. I was like, yeah. So the next.
See now, but that's when you need to go lead us into our next story, and boom, say it.
True enough. Yeah, we all kind of
take George out of the picture, and you run with it. But go ahead, George.
So, guys, did you hear about the new Lamb of God song, Still Echoes?
Yeah, we called this coming back from Death Fest.
Oh, you guys listened to it on the way back.
It's Lamb of God.
It's pretty good.
You know what?
I'm curious.
Put it for myself.
I'm curious what the song's about. I was watching the lyric video, reading the lyrics, and going, well, it sounds pretty deep and dark, but
what? Yeah.
But about what specifically, I'm not sure.
You're right on the money, Buke. Sounds like Lamb of God. I mean, I'll get it. They are one of those bands. We're big fans. I know. I don't know, George, if you're the biggest fan. I mean, are you take them or leave them, or
I like them.
You like them, but they are one of those bands that get into that place now where they've got five, six records out, and there won't be anything wrong with this new one.
Yeah, the seventh one, Sturm und Drang.
Sturm und Drang. But it'll be cool, but it'll be probably nothing, groundbreaking for them. I'll buy it, and I'll probably love it. But yeah, that sounds cool though. It's good. It's good.
So I learned some interesting news the other day. Ronnie James Dio has a son by the name of Dan Padavona, which is Dio's real name, who is apparently an author, and he just released his second novel called Dark Vanishings.
Crazy. I never heard of this till you put it in the...
Yeah, who knew Dio had a kid? Who knew Dio's kid was a writer?
Was it his kid with Wendy Dio, or was it a kid with some other...
That I could not tell you.
Some other strange...
Some slut!
Yeah, some strange that he got fucking singing to dragons in Transylvania or something like that.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that.
You think Dio was slaying them?
The dragons or the women?
Both.
Definitely the dragons.
I think Dio had a cock that matched his voice.
They called him the third leg.
One for the fucking ages.
That's
Not his voice.
See, it's a code. That's why he had 3 names. Ronnie, James, Dio. One for each leg.
Yes.
So, James, we're talking.
What if, like, fucking Dio, small little gremlin Dio, was hung like a fucking horse?
That
by the
would be
way,
poetic
really-
justice.
That would be.
He was.
And everybody thinks, oh, Lemmy's the big ladies' man. No, it's not Lemmy. It's fucking Dio.
It's the quiet guys who don't talk about it.
Exactly.
I used to learn a lot of new things about him. Like, well, when I'd learned them, I think I was shocked. Like, one was, I read an interview with him one time where he was talking about, or no, it was somebody else was saying, like, what did he do to prepare to go out on stage? And I always sort of saw him as a singer. And this was not that long before he died. And he was like, just smoke a joint. And that was like no idea that he was just like that kind of guy.
I never would have guessed that.
That was literally the way he got ready. And this was like when Heaven and Hell was happening, like the band Heaven and Hell.
Wow.
So he was still, that was his way he did things. I think it was Scott Ian. I can't remember who it was that asked him, and they were relaying the story. And I thought, okay, a lot of stuff I don't know about Dio.
Yeah, there needs to be a book.
There does need to be a book. We should write it. We'll just make shit up.
Yeah. And then Dio slayed the dragon.
Right.
God, his voice was amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think Jay will probably be pleased to know that Nile is releasing their new album, What Should Not Be Unearthed, on August 28th.
Can't wait, man. I'm totally into these guys. And I think there are those bands that there's like, I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm trying to think of another example, but it's like there's all the other death metal bands, and then there's these guys. You know what I mean? Like, to me, they are, at least for just technical skill, insane. But also, I really like their records, so I'm excited about this. And George Callias says that one of the songs on there is the hardest song he's ever played.
Wow.
And that's George Callias.
I saw them play. They opened for, I want to say, Cradle of Filth. Many years ago. I saw them at the 930 Club.
I think they're kind of out there by you guys somewhere, aren't they? Virginia, I think they're from.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I think they are. Richmond, maybe?
It might be. I'll look it up. I saw them maybe just last year or something. I can't remember what it was. But they did 2 long sets. It was really cool. Like, literally did something from every album, many things from every album. Took a break in the middle, came out and did another set. It was awesome, man. So
all I know about them, Jay, is they're one of those bands that always comes around. Like, every time we were going to Jack's or Empire, George, I would always see their posters like in the lobby.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were always on.
It seemed like they're always on tour.
Ubiquitous.
Yeah. They are actually from Greenville,
Oh, North Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina. That's what I meant.
Yep. I didn't realize they have so many albums out, but they have a lot.
I think the first one was released in the 90s.
Their first full length was 98.
Yeah.
Amongst the Catacombs of whatever.
Sniffin. Right on. Well, this next one, I think Buke will get his nips in a bunch about. The new Jungle Rod album, Order Shall Prevail.
Yes.
Out on June 30th, and apparently there's a guest vocal from Max Cavalera.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that.
Dude, I heard these guys just going through Spotify. Mm-hmm. I like my death metal a little technical.
Yeah.
These guys are not super like Revocation technical, but it's there, and I like what I've heard from them.
Did you ever get the? I know you were trying to get.
I haven't got it yet. Thanks, Jay.
I love that laugh.
I do. I love it too.
You make me laugh, man. You're so funny. Cool. I'll check it out. By the way, I don't know them at all, so I'll look into them.
Right on. You want to get this next?
You know,
one?
the funny thing is, Jay saw that record. It's like, oh yeah, Jungle Rot. Flip, 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 flip. I was like, hey, Jay, can you pick up the Jungle Rot for me?
You know, I was so sure. I had looked for it that day, and then I went to look for it. And then I went to look for it the next day in another record store, and I was like, I don't even know who these guys are, so they're going to have it. Like, who would have been lining up in suburban? Because I went out to the suburban area where our rehearsal studio is. And no, I didn't see it anywhere. But yeah, no luck there, dude. Sorry.
Okay.
But the next news story. High and Fire's new record.
Luminiferous.
Yeah. No, speaking about, can we go back to Death Fest? A big part of Death Fest in the parking lot for 20 minutes or so was band names that were playing and how do you say them? Anal Rock and Ernheiner, whatever that was.
Einherjer.
Yeah, Einherjer and stuff like that. Hearing everybody's different sayings for bands was also funny too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, how do people pronounce them?
You know, Anol Nathrak is from a movie.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Willow. I think it's from Willow.
Really?
Yeah, there's in that movie. It's like the words that the wizard says. And
Natrak. Yeah, that does sound familiar.
yeah,
I'm
I'm assuming that's what they took it from, and that's not an actual phrase from real life somewhere, but meaning maybe Willow find it somewhere else.
I have a fond memory of when I was a kid watching Willow. Was it? I can't remember because I haven't seen it in years. Was Willow a good movie?
Yeah, pretty good.
I loved Willow. I am a total nerd. I've seen that movie so many times. I saw it in the theater when it first came out. I got my first.
You look like Willow.
I got pulled over for the very first time coming out of that movie.
Did you really?
Made an illegal left turn out of the parking lot.
George was so amped up.
It's like Willow of good.
Yeah, Willow. And George just fucking speeding out of the lot.
Yeah. It was my very first time taking the car out on I was 16. It was just after my 16th birthday.
You were so happy to go see Willow. You couldn't fucking contain your foot.
Nah, I was just dumb and didn't see the sign that says no left turn. And I drove for like 3 miles with the cop behind me with his lights on, not noticing him. He didn't have the siren on, just the lights.
Knowing you probably were all nervous, right?
Oh, about shit myself. I was like, because I was like, oh crap, I've been like eluding, this cop who's been following me all this way.
If this was modern times, you'd have a helicopter up with you in seconds.
It was like OJ all over again, except it was pre-J.
And George is crying. I'm just trying to get back from Willow.
Anyway.
Was it opening day?
I don't have much to say about this record. I'm looking forward to it.
The High on Fire Luminiferous that we were talking about like 12 minutes ago.
Previously, I did hear one track, and they actually played that one track when I saw them live not long ago. It'll be cool. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Don't know much else about it.
Yeah, I had just heard about it. So June 23rd, that is out. It's just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's come close.
So the new Faith No More album, Soul Invictus, sold 31,000 units in its first week. That's surprising to me. That's a pretty good number.
Very respectable. Yeah, I mean, like there's big names that's what they sell.
Yeah,
yeah.
I wasn't sure what to expect with this album. I have since listened to the whole album. When they put out the first single, Motherfucker, I didn't like that at all.
Yeah,
I was like, this is not a single. It's like the whole song doesn't resolve. The whole song is like building to this like resolve that like it just doesn't happen. And I was like waiting for some sort of chorus, and it's grown on me since in the context of the whole album. But I thought it was a really poor choice as a first single, so I was not really expecting much from the album because they're kind of a weird band. And they're not really metal. But I was playing. They were on Jimmy Fallon. And they played a couple songs, and my wife was like, it's kind of cool. And they played, I don't even know what the fuck it's called now. Nope, can't remember. But they played a different song, and it was kind of good. And so I was like, all right, let me check out the album. And on the whole, I kind of dug the album.
Do you like it? Are you Buke? Are you a Faith No More fan?
Only Epic and their cover of Easy.
I'm kind of in that same boat with all due respect to them. And, though I will say this, I'm not a fan. I don't think I've ever owned any of their records. But I used to work at this bookstore, and we sold tickets. This was back when we still sold tickets at things like bookstores. And and some promoter, we did the Faith No More show, and I used to get free tickets a lot. And I went to see them, and this was on the Epic, whatever that tour was. It was right when they were getting ready to break, and I saw them in this small place. And I got to say, I was like blown away. It was, even though I'm not even crazy about them, it was one of like top 10 shows I ever saw. Because it was like seeing this band right when they were huge on MTV, but they had to like honor the club tour that they booked, even though they should be in bigger places now. It was awesome. But
yeah, I loved them
the new stuff
when The Real Thing came out and Epic dropped. It was right before I finished high school. Came out like a couple months before high school.
Riding on that Willow high.
Yeah, that was another year or two after Willow.
That was a couple years for you.
But you know how obsessive I am. Okay, so I went from I don't like that first single to I checked out the album, and I really liked the album. What did I do next? I bought tickets to the show in August. Gonna go see them at Merriweather.
Oh, right on.
And I picked up 3 vinyls.
Right on, dude.
I had Real Thing already. I picked up Album of the Year, King for a Day, Fool for whatever, King, yeah, and Album of the Year on vinyl.
That's pretty clever. I like that they have a record called Album of the Year.
Yeah.
Because if nothing else, you know what I mean? You could. It looks good on your resume, but that was when we released Album of the Year.
So there was some news recently that Sammy Hagar kind of put a burn down on Mr. David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth was asked if on the Van Halen tour that whether he was going to be singing any of the Sammy era Van Halen tunes, and David Lee Roth was like, no, there's sort of a quality issue here. And he went on to say something about like sales figures or something, like how the Sammy Hagar era songs only sold half as much as the David Lee Roth era songs, or something to that effect.
All right.
Just kind of a douchey remark. And Sammy Hagar came back with, well, yeah, obviously there's going to be a quality issue because Dave can't sing my shit. So if Dave tried to sing my shit, it would sound horrible. Now, this is me paraphrasing. He was not so bold as to say those things, but he basically implied that, yeah, there's a quality issue because David Lee Roth can't sing my songs.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, burn, because when David Lee Roth first left Van Halen back in the 80s, I was bummed. I was a big Van Halen fan. And I was a Sammy Hagar fan too, and I was kind of bummed that he was joining this pre-existing band. And so for years I wouldn't listen to Van Hagar. I was like, nah, fuck that, man. David Lee Roth. And now I'm fucking sick to death of hearing David Lee Roth, and just give me some of that Sammy Hagar Van Halen.
Oh, right on. I do have to tell you, I prefer the David Lee Roth Van Halen by a long shot, but I don't have anything against the other stuff. I only ever saw them with Sammy Hagar. I did actually see them in high school on the OU 812 tour, which was cool. But I'm a fan of David Lee Roth. I think he's hilarious. I do. I think he's the funniest son of a bitch. I think he's like a vaudeville performer.
Yeah.
It's this old. He's a little too cool for rock and roll in a weird sort of way. But yeah, so Sammy. By the way, Sammy Hagar is like. Hold on, I want to be accurate about this. He's an old man, dude.
He's like 70.
Yeah, he's like 60. What the fuck? 66 or something. He's 67 years old. 67 years old. What the fuck? Crazy.
He's like as old as my parents.
He kind of is, dude. And I mean, he's still got that blonde hair and everything. He may be dying it, but
it's all that Cabo Wabo.
I think it is.
It's the magic tequila that live forever.
Have you guys had the Cabo Wabo?
Yes. I have. My mom bought me a bottle back from Mexico.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Cool. I mean to check it out one of these days. I know he doesn't own the company anymore, but I assume it's still good.
Yeah.
Apparently he has clubs and stuff down there where he's...
Yeah, we were talking about trying to go down there just because I read his book and it was like, man, it sounds really nice down there.
But guys, you guys are obviously were living it then when I wasn't. Was it the same talk of like Bruce joining Iron Maiden or Dio joining Sabbath?
No, it was it was a little bit. It was weird. It was like, I think most people were just like George. I was.
It was just hated the idea of it.
Yeah, on both sides. And
was he ever given a fair shot?
Well, he already had this successful solo career. I was really into his last album, VOA, that had I Can't Drive 55
Wasn't
on
he
there.
With Montrose?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. But you know what, though? Yeah, he was given a real fair shot. God, I have a very distinct memory of that, like being the record of that summer. Not necessarily for me, but it was on the radio constantly, and
oh yeah,
people really talked about it. All my friends had it.
Well, what's your guys' favorite Van Halen album then? Not to put you on the spot, but since you guys, I have a couple on vinyl just because I think you should own them.
Yeah. Mine was probably 1984 because that was the album that introduced me. I bought it. And I was so intrigued by the album cover.
The cover art's cool.
The angel with the cigarette. And I was just like, I knew that Van Halen was cool. And so I bought this because it was the newest one. And it was that magical thing for me. But it's definitely, music-wise, it's probably not my favorite album. But
Fair Warning is far and away my favorite. That's their basically metal record, really. That's a good record, man. Mean Streets, bunch of killer songs on it. It's their hardest rock record for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could add more, guys. This was kind of before my time.
Yeah, we're old. Why don't you just come out and say it? We're old.
Grandpa?
Okay.
Moving Moving on. So the new Slayer record, Repentless, is due out on 9/11, which, does anybody remember what happened the last time they released an album on 9/11?
Yeah.
Yeah, 9/11 happened on 9/11 last time they released an album on 9/11. Just saying.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I think it's definitely, by the way, that is, they're attempting to be a little controversial with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no reason.
They weren't, obviously, with the last one on 9/11, they weren't controversial because they kind of fell into obscurity because the events of that day,
Well, but it also was planned months in advance. They didn't know
of course. Now, this, obviously, this one was planned in months in advance to hit on this date.
Yeah.
Sure. A little bit of a weird choice. That said, that's not really even the news story.
Right.
So,
yeah. The new news, this album's coming out on Nuclear Blast. Previously, they were on American Recordings, which is, of course, the label of producer, the fuck's his name?
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin. The label of Rick Rubin. And they'd been with him since, like, Rain and Blood.
Yep.
So
they didn't leave him in recent years?
They just left him. And apparently it's because they received an insulting offer for Repentless. And so they said, fuck you, we're out of here.
Now, but, hold on. Playing the other side of this, though, okay? You're Slayer in 2015.
You need Rick Rubin.
Yes.
You do.
Yes. You're Slayer in 2015. Your best of times may already have come and gone.
You're on Nuclear Blast. No offense to Nuclear Blast. Kind of a small label for Slayer.
I think hearing this story and reading it, I think they're maybe putting themselves up on the pedestal that they kind of aren't anymore.
Well, you remember what happened when Megadeth went to Nuclear Blast?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing good. That's what
nothing
happened.
Good. Exactly.
Yeah, but here's the weird thing about that. That I agree with you. It's weird that's kind of it has the appearance of being a smaller label, but they are picking up everybody that all the major labels are dropping. And I'll just give you one example. I think you guys probably know this, but Rush is on Nuclear Blast now.
What?
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I'm not trying to diss on Nuclear Blast.
We're not dissing on them at all.
I love Nuclear Blast.
That at some point in time, I agree. But at some point in time, there was this subtle turn, and now Nuclear Blast suddenly has like these massive names on it. I would love to know what the insulting offer was from Deaf American. Strangely, mildly related. We went to Hawaii last year, and we went to Kauai, which is a beautiful island. The most beautiful of the islands, they say. But anyway, we're in this little coffee shop, and who should I run into but Rick Rubin?
Really?
Yeah, that's it. I didn't talk to him or anything. And I knew he had a
that's called pulling a George.
He was just walking by. But honestly, he was with this like hottie young, I think, Hawaiian girl. I since looked it up, and it's actually his girlfriend. But he had his head like down on the table, and I was wondering if he was like hungover or something. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I was going to get coffee, but
he was probably just meditating.
Right. Maybe so. But anyway, I don't know.
I just think Slayer thinks too high of themselves now.
Oh, I agree. And I'm surprised that relationship lasted as long as it did.
Yeah.
They probably got dropped now because record sales are down in general. I would almost wager that Rick Rubin could afford to keep them around in the past. They've never sold that many records. But now it's sort of like, sorry, dudes, if you're going to be on my label, you got to pull your weight kind of thing,
Great point. Great point. Their last couple albums have not been bad. World Painted Blood wasn't bad. It had a couple killer songs on it.
It did, yeah. I like that. But on the whole, pretty good.
Slayer's chasing that dragon that as they're aging,
they're on heroin?
Maybe.
That explains a few things.
Slayer I don't think they can ever be there again.
No, I don't think so either.
No.
I really don't.
Not without Jeff.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting to see. The next one I'll be interested in purely because of Gary Holt.
Gary Holt, yeah.
That being said, if When the Silence Comes is anything to judge by, it's just going to be like the last 3 records. So we'll see.
Great point. Yep, all the same.
Yep.
And frankly, I'd like to see what they sound like with a different producer, goddammit. The balls back. I want the bass back.
But Jay, can a different producer change what they as a band are playing now?
No, he can only do some sonic things. And it's just sort of like, to me, if you compare Hell Awaits and you compare World Painted Blood, the sonic quality of it. I prefer the Hell Awaits sound. It's a little bassier, a little more echo on Tom's voice. It just sounds more old school. Mm-hmm. No, old school's the wrong word for it. But anyway, none of us. It's funny because they're like Metallica now, aren't they? It's a shame. And what I mean is, we'll all pay attention. We'll know when the record comes out. We'll listen to it once or twice.
There'll always be the headliners at the festival.
That's right. Yeah, but they're never going to change your life again.
Mm-mm. No.
So incidentally, let me just throw out, though, briefly, that I saw him about 6 months ago, and it was the best Slayer show I ever saw.
Really?
Yeah, the amazing set list. And it was just one song after another. Bam, bam, bam. It was Slayer and Exodus. So Gary Holt had to do double duty. It was killer.
Wow.
Show. Yeah, super killer show. And they did all the right songs. There's a bunch of stuff off Hell Away.
Mandatory suicide?
Mandatory.
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
I fucking love that. Jay, what's your favorite Slayer song?
Mine would be off of Hell Away, believe it or not. It's probably either Necrophiliac or Kill Again.
Wow, both I've never really heard people talk about a lot. George, what's yours?
I went and saw him on the South of Heaven tour, and I actually skipped school that day to go wait outside for him, and I met them all, and I asked them if they were going to play that, and they did, which was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super cool. I'll never forget it. Kerry King still had hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got pictures somewhere. I'll send them to you guys.
That's a tough question. I mean, I'm just going to go Angel of Death.
Oh,
because I'd have to think about it more because I have to look at Seasons in the Abyss. There's stuff on there that I really dig. I could possibly pull something off of there. Stuff on South of Heaven. I'm just not prepared for that. And so
Dead Skin Mask.
Yeah. So I'm just going to default to Angel of Death because I fucking love that song.
Over Raining Blood?
Yeah.
I'm a mandatory suicide guy.
Well, there you go. All right. So I'm going to be seeing this band next month. Battlecross is releasing Rise to Power in August.
I honestly don't know. So
these guys, I'm telling you what, you want to talk about the road dogs of fucking metal now. You check Twitter a week out of every year and just type in Battlecross. These guys are on tour in fucking a different city every night, it seems, playing. They're just, for lack of a better term, they're just
homeless.
Oh, they're just a metal band, right, George?
Yeah.
They're like a Lamb of God, maybe a little thrash in it a little bit, but they're just a metal band that got a lot of Jose Mangin on Sirius XM really got behind them a lot when they first came out. Really
behind them.
It really played a lot of their stuff when they first came out, and
they American band.
Yeah, they're American
from Michigan.
Yeah, they're just a great metal band. Like they're one of those bands that their social media presence is really strong too. Like you follow them, they'll follow you back. They send you direct messages. They send you tweets at you and stuff like that.
That is nice, dude. I like that. Yeah, I like that.
One of my favorite bands out there right now. They release great stuff.
All right. Well, yeah, you guys have sold me.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Speaking about American metal bands, did we mention the death of the Lazarus AD drummer?
We didn't. He died.
Yeah, he died.
That's a bummer.
It is a bummer. They were one of those bands that I was always not so hooked on or not really liked them until I saw them.
Really? I liked their last, actually both
But
their
then
albums.
we saw them with, what tour was that?
That was the Warbringer.
That was the
Landmine Marathon.
Warbringer.
Yesterday's Saints.
Awesome set.
Yeah,
that album, what's it, Black Rivers Flow, I think it was?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Just a great, it's a three-piece.
Did they, I don't remember if they said how he died, though.
No, they didn't. They didn't say.
Really talk about it, things, yeah.
But it's not drugs or something like that, because that's usually what it is. But yeah, he passed away.
So like 34 or something, wasn't he?
29.
Like 29, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was 29.
So it could have been old age, but you never know. Natural causes,
Yeah.
All right. So have we all looked at the new commercial, the late night commercial for the new Ghost album?
I tried to put it up on YouTube the other day, and I saw it, and I was like, what the hell is this?
I couldn't get any sound on it. I had to turn it up really loud.
Oh, seriously? And then I noticed, like, the link I had sent you guys died. I think, to me, it reminds me of, like, a really bad satanic cult 70s movie.
I think that's what they were going for, yeah. Kind of like a grindhouse type of thing.
Yeah, which I like. I thought that was, like, a nice touch, and it's also just a nice touch to know that whatever label... what label are they on?
Oh, look, keep on talking.
Yeah, that they put that they gave them a commercial. You know what I mean? Like, that was cool. They were real, not necessarily top name, but they were real actors in the commercial, and it kind of was tongue in cheek. I thought it was kind of cool that they did that.
To me, it was almost like a death clock kind of thing. In in the Metalocalypse, there's the evil people off to the side talking. So I was like,
it was very much like that.
Yeah.
The one thing about Ghost, though, I'm sick of this stupid lead singer changing that they're doing.
No, you got to change your popes every once in a while.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
It is. But
You
this
know.
guy's 3 months younger.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, especially since they say he's his brother. I thought that was interesting. They were trying to.
Jay, you grind yourself in a band. George, wishes he could play. I wish I could be in a fucking band. If you're in a metal band as successful as Ghost is right now, you're not fucking leaving it. Stop with the charades. We know.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
I know.
And they are successful, by the way. That's a.
Extremely.
Well,
Did you guys like the last record? I didn't.
I remember when their first album came out. George doesn't do this often, but I said this on the podcast before. When he does text me and say, "Buke, you need to check this out."
Yeah.
When we got the first Ghost Opus Eponymous, yeah,
Hippopotamus.
yeah, hip hoppopotamus.
Hip Hop Anonymous.
Hippopotamus.
They're on their first album. They were on Rise Above and Metal Blade.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, remember
That's right, I
when we
remember
interviewed Slagle? His picture was Ghost.
Yeah, that's right.
George said, "Buke, you gotta check these guys out. Classic sound, evil as fuck lyrics."
Yeah.
Very merciful fate
But
influenced.
I'll admit, I think I speak for George here. When that second album came out, yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I'm really hoping
Me
the
too.
third album.
We're hoping for the best.
yeah,
Actually,
Jay, like that second album brought in
No, I was-
more '70s sounds with it a little bit, proggy kind
I
of.
don't know what was. The one single, the lead single that came off, it was okay. I listened to that record maybe twice. And that says volumes. And but the single now, there is a single available to hear for this one, and it's pretty good. We'll see.
Yeah,
I think
and
they understood.
the album, the new album's called Meliora.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
released. August 21st.
Okay, right on. So a couple months.
But I agree with you. The first record was
Amazing.
awesome. I was obsessed with it. It
Ritual, Elizabeth. Oh.
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then seeing them on
Here's
tour,
hoping.
you saw them with Mastodon and Opeth. How
Yeah,
awesome was that show?
Yeah, it comes out with honestly, that made my night. As
Yeah.
cool as the other bands were, they were so good. And I was more motivated to go see them than the other two bands because I'd seen the other two bands multiple times.
Not
And they
me,
were
but
brilliant. I thought they were amazing.
I'm a weirdo for Opeth, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Opeth fan over here.
Moving on. Our last news item, David Ellefson, a.k.a. Junior from Megadeth, was quoted as saying, "I'd like to think the new album is not a stinker.
All right.
We would like to think that it is not a stinker, too. We're hoping that it's not a stinker."
I haven't liked anything they did since. I thought United Abominations was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I haven't liked any of the other ones. I couldn't even tell you what they were called anymore. I tried them all.
Yeah,
It
pretty
was
much
two or
with you
three
there.
songs.
So
Yeah, I didn't like it, so we'll see.
Will it
I'd like
be a
to think so
stinker?
too. Agreed.
probably. Wah, wah, wah.
Well, on the other hand, this is the Chris Adler record, though, right?
Yes,
That's true.
That is true.
Chris Adler and that new dude, the new guitar player. We'll see. Obviously, we haven't heard a stitch of it. There's
Yeah.
no lead single yet or anything.
Nope.
But can a good drum track save an album?
No.
No, maybe that kind of young blood. Well, he's not even a young man, though. But I mean, that kind of enthusiasm or something. Obviously, he probably wasn't too deeply involved in the writing, so I guess that is kind of what it comes down to. He could play amazing drums on a terrible record.
Yep.
Entirely
It'd
possible.
be the opposite of like Saint Anger. Horrible drums on an okay record.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's do some new releases. Let's start off with the new Arcturus album, Arcturian. So I was a fan of these guys back in the day when they played black metal. After Aspera Heim Symphonia, they switched singers, I think. No, maybe they didn't yet. Garm from Ulver was the singer for the first few albums. But then after Aspera, they sort of went avant-garde, and it got a little weird. and I didn't really care for it too much. And so they didn't release an album for the last 10 years. So when I heard they were releasing a new album, I was like, "Oh man, make it fucking metal."
Have you heard some of it yet, or are you?
I did. I got the promo for it before Death Fest, and I listened to it, and I was like, "Meh, it's still a little weird." You know, ICS Vortex is the singer now, and I wasn't immediately in love with the album.
Okay.
But that did not stop me from buying the vinyl at Death Fest. we watched them play. That was the first night, right?
Oh, they were at Death Fest.
They were at Death Fest.
Remember Kevin was going nuts for them?
Yeah.
The first night, they closed it out.
Squee. That was his word. I picked that up from the Nine Circles. He was like, squee. Anyway, and they had an interesting set at Death Fest. And so,
Okay.
and then after the set, I saw it and I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. I'll get the vinyl. I haven't listened to it yet since Death Fest, so jury's still out on that one, but I think I probably prefer the earlier material still.
Right on.
Next up, the return of Armored Saint with their new album, Win Hands Down. I was just talking to Buke about this earlier today. What do you think of that one?
Is it on Metal Blade?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Buke? I asked for your opinion.
Oh, I'm just sitting here like, oh, sorry. No, I was driving back home today, and George's like, "Hey, Buke, what you think of the new Armored Saint?" And at the time, I was like, man, this is pretty exciting. But then George sent me a text that changed my whole opinion on it.
See, I influence his opinion greatly. I say, Buke, think this, and he does it.
He's like Obi-Wan. He just waves his hands in front of me.
You do not like this band.
This isn't the album you will like. And he says, he says it's missing some hooks, though.
Yeah, I like Armored Saint in the old days. Pre-Anthrax era, I was a big Armored Saint fan. John Bush joined Anthrax. I was not pleased.
Yeah, me either.
But then when he left Anthrax and started up Armored Saint again, I was like, all right, I'll get behind that because I liked Armored Saint. And musically, have you heard it, Jay?
I honestly haven't, though. You made it available to me, as people who listen to the pod probably know. We are sharing. So a lot of the promos you get, make sure you get them to me and Buke. I put it on my computer. I haven't turned it on yet.
Okay.
I was listening. I have some other stuff farther down the list I spent my time on, but
musically, I think it's a good album, and I think John Bush's vocals are good as well. But yeah, it just seems to be lacking some hooks. I mean, they really need strong hooks for their music to work, particularly with John Bush's voice. It's got to have a strong hook, or it's just not going to make an impression. And I queued this album up, and I was like, can you deliver? And that was a song reference, by the way. One of their good songs. And I don't think it entirely delivered. It got about halfway there and then stopped for me.
Now, I mentioned this album last week, but we were rushed.
Yeah.
And then it got buried down. Well, and then the Nine Circles guys posted a review, and you're like, oh, that album fucking...
Yeah. Well, I got the promo for this album a while back.
You didn't listen to it.
No, I did listen to it.
After me?
No, I'd listened to it.
Okay.
The only reason you got it is because I listened to it and said, this is awesome, I'm passing it on.
Okay.
And it's Cult of End Time and their album Incharnal Lights. I have the promo. I have the MP3 promo. I got it for free from the record label. But I fucking loved it so much, I went and dropped like $8 on Bandcamp so that I could get the FLAC file for it.
Yeah, amazing. And these guys really have no footprint online either.
No, it's a new band, I guess.
Yeah. Amazing.
I'm pretty sure it's funny because I had I didn't know you guys were into this. I mean, all the stuff that was in the box I just downloaded, and I listened to this one last night, and I was like, I was going to talk about it, but I think they're not even on a label. Is what I was trying to get around to saying here. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, I like this record, man. It's a good record.
Yeah. It's very...
really good.
Very heavy. And frankly, I compare it to Triptychon a little bit in how fucking heavy it is.
That's fair. But it's on Svart Records, by the way. I was wrong. They do have a label, but I don't know anything about them either because I kind of looked through a bunch of stuff in the box last night, looked at people's Facebook pages, blah, blah, blah. No, I can't find out a damn thing about these guys.
Yeah. Well,
but I like it. It's a good record.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be hearing more about them because, damn.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah. All right, this next one's all you, Jay.
I just bumped into this. It's called strange band name called Employed to Serve. The album is called Grayer Than You Remember. And I actually found this one because as the same way I found you guys, every once in a while I'll do a search like, best albums of 2015 so far or something like that. And this one was 25th. I can't remember where I even read it, but it was some article and it was like, albums you probably should have heard if you haven't heard, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I went and checked it out and it's just killer. They have a girl singer, though you wouldn't know it. I mean, I think you can kind of tell, like you guys will have to, if you listen to it, you'll decide. There's sort of a slightly Pig Destroyer-ish with more thought out, longer songs. Really huge riffs and hooks.
Nice.
It's really good. This is definitely probably a top fiver for me for end of year.
Right on.
I really like it that much.
I think that may be our first J prediction. End of list.
Right on.
I actually have a couple today, believe it or not.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I kind of wanted to just pimp them a little bit and mention them, and hopefully you guys will check it out too. I think you'll dig it, George. And actually, you might like it too, Buke. I can't decide. It's awesome. I love these guys.
This next one I don't like though. Not my style at all.
Total black metal stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, not my style at all. George, this is your style.
Yeah, I like Gorgoroth, but I haven't really listened to him a lot since Gaul left.
Yeah, me either.
So, I'm more of a Godseed fan at this point. But I probably should give it a listen, be fair. But
actually,
it just kind of annoys me, the whole drama with the band of Gaul and Gorgoroth. Just fuck that. It's like the immortal bullshit. It's just fuck you. I'm not going to listen to you if you're going to be like that.
And they fought over the name. And to be honest with you, I haven't listened to any of the ones since Gaul left either. So, and I was the one that kind of threw this out at you to throw it up there. Probably just because they are a name, they're out there. I did like them in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give it a listen. Those records post Gaul have gotten good reviews.
Have they?
Yeah.
Maybe we should check it out then.
Yeah. But I haven't bought any of them. So, but and I guess when I saw this was coming, I thought maybe I should too. I agree with you. I've kind of given it some thought.
Yeah, maybe there's a promo out there where we can dip our toes in and not have to invest in it.
Even better.
Not by me.
Yeah, we don't want your vagina to hurt.
Good job. That was rare, Jake.
I made Jay laugh.
You really get a deep belly laugh there.
All right, so this next one I just pre-ordered on vinyl and got a T-shirt. That's right, Paradise Lost just released The Plague Within. I listened to the full album finally over the last couple of days, and it's pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't listened to the whole record, but I kind of did a sampler. I like it. It's definitely kind of a blast from the past for them.
It almost kind of reminded me, I just was listening to some this morning, and it hit me that it almost slightly reminds me of newer era Satyricon.
Interesting, because
in the way that his voice is very like Satyricon-ish. It's like it's harsh, but it's not too harsh.
That's a pretty comparison, dude. Especially since I didn't even pick up on that, but I've been listening to that live record a little bit this week.
Yeah,
the Live at the Opera, and I could totally hear that. That's a good call. So
yeah, definitely loving that. Just pre-ordered the vinyl, which won't be. I think the album is actually out last week, this week. I don't remember. I know it'll be out by the time you hear this. But the vinyl's not out yet, so had to pre-order that. And even found a fatty shirt. 3X fatty shirt for me. So it looks pretty badass. So
for the win.
Fat guys win.
Let me see. I do want to just quick see if that is out. Let's see, what's the title of it? What's the name of the record, George?
The Plague Within. Wait, you talking about Paradise Lost?
Yeah.
Yeah, The Plague Within.
Okay, I'm just wondering if... Anyway, continue. I was just kind of wondering if it is out. Doesn't really matter. Anywho.
All right, so this last band is one that you probably haven't heard of, but I'm thinking that Buke, at the very least, is going to fucking dig this band. I know them because I reviewed their last album, which is called Angels for Breakfast and God for Lunch. This is the Swedish band Sturbhaus. And their second full-length album, New Level of Malevolence. And this is some, like, serious thrash. Like, right up your alley, fucking thrash.
Like Angelus Apartheid, that one that came out earlier this year?
Kinda, yeah. It's straight up thrash with maybe a little bit of mellow death in there, but it's really just pretty much thrash. So
cool.
I liked their last album. I was listening to this album today, and it's pretty fucking killer.
Hey, Mike's retweeting us. That's nice. Cool. Yeah, I listened to it last night. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I agree. It's definitely kind of got an old school thrash vibe. Very cool.
Yeah. So check them out, Sturbhaus. So this week's featured band comes to us all the way from New Zealand. This is the band Lysithea, and we are going to play you some music from their third album called Realms. I first heard of these guys last year with their second album, which was called The Secret Fate of All Life. This is it's kind of epic, not melodic, but like death doom. So the songs are kind of long, and
meander.
They meander. In fact, like their first two releases didn't even have vocals; they were just instrumental. And then,
is that right?
Yeah, and then last year with the last album, they got a singer. And
kind of a cleaner production too for a doom band, I think, and they do have a couple things where they kind of hit a trot all of a sudden, speed wise,
right?
And definitely some long, drawn out instrumental passages. Couple cool songs on this one too, for sure.
Yes, and we're going to get ready to play you one of those songs now. So sit back, relax, and check out Hyperborea. All right, so that was Lysithea and the song Hyperborea from their third album, Realms. Stick around to the end of the podcast and we will play you another song from them.
This is it. This is the good stuff.
All right, moving on to our top three. Jay was kind enough to provide us with the topic this week. You want to head this one up?
Definitely. Top 3 reunion records, and George and I were talking a little bit before the pod, and so I'm wondering if we will have matched up on these. It sounds like George went kind of classic, which is cool. But boy, if we don't have this one in common, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I really wanted to go
start with. Go ahead, go with it, man.
Sorry, I was going to say I really wanted to get obscure and be like, oh, this one here, but I just didn't have the time. And the ones that I did end up picking seemed like good choices. So sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
Not at all. I'll just start it off, but I'm going to hit you with my honorable mention first, and then I'll hit you with my number 3. My honorable mention, I think, is a record that kind of divided a lot of people. But it's Bruce's return to Iron Maiden. I thought Brave New World was a really good record.
Right on.
So that's my honorable mention. And then here's another one that I think a lot of people maybe didn't like. But Venom got back together late 90s. They did a record called Cast in Stone.
Cast in Stone. I remember that. I liked that.
It's good from start to finish. So that's my number 3.
Okay.
Buke or George, as the case may be.
I have a 4, but I'm going to save it to see if you do it first.
All right.
So my number 3 is Carcass with Surgical Steel.
Oh, dude. God damn it. I meant to remember that when we first started talking about this one.
Remember it.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Awesome.
Buke, number 3.
George, this came from us seeing them years back on a reunion tour, and I know you were excited. Death Angel, The Art of Dying.
Yes, that's another good one.
We saw them when they were reunited, and
that was at Jack's.
That was at Jack's, and it was
that place fucking hate so much.
That place fucking sucks, but they were on that night.
They were.
It was a great show.
It was.
They came back out with this with this album. It was a great album.
Yeah.
Production was great. Classic Death Angel sound.
They've been tearing it up ever since.
Yeah, they've been tearing it up ever since. Or what? Put out 3 albums since then, I think.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yep, two or three.
Yeah. No, that's a good choice, dude. That one did. The Carcass I thought of a while back when we first discussed this. Didn't even think of the Death Angel. That's both good choices.
All right, what's your number 2?
Number 2, totally mainstream. A lot of people probably would reference this one. Deep Purple, Perfect Strangers.
Oh, brilliant. I didn't think of that.
I didn't think of that one.
I love that album so much.
I mean, whenever I'd have this conversation, because, you have these conversations with friends over beers and stuff. That used to be the one I'd be like, number 1, that's it. That's the best, it's not anymore because I got a new number 1. But yeah, Perfect Strangers.
All right.
And I think number 1 is your number 4. That's what I think is probably true, George.
I think it is.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be 4 if I wasn't putting it in 4. Like, if it was actually on my list, it would be my number 1 as well.
Right on.
My number 2, Anthrax, Worship Music.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's a great one,
That's
dude.
a great one, dude. That's a great one.
Fucking Joey, man.
That was
Only
a
number
great one.
So that's the true spiritual follow-up to Among the Living, in my mind. Totally. Even though Joey was still around for the actual record after Among the Living. Yeah, that's a good record, dude.
Yeah, there's Persistence of Time.
Right, yeah, exactly.
A State of Euphoria. There's a couple albums, actually.
They were. Man, that record is good from start to finish. A lot of killer tracks on that one, man. This worship music, yeah.
All right.
Duke, number 2.
Jay gave this one an honorable mention. It should have been on his list easily, but Iron Maiden, Brave New World, The Wicker Man, Ghost of the Navigator.
Ghost of Navigator. Oh, makes my fucking shit hard.
Fucking Ghost of the Navigator, Brave New World, Blood Brothers, The Mercenary, Out on a Silent Planet.
Ghost of the Navigator, I agree with you, George. That's a total hard-on song. But I got to tell you, one of my favorite Maiden songs ever is on that record. I would probably call it top 5 Maiden song. You guys would probably be a little surprised. Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Jesus, that's a good song.
Okay. Yeah, the whole album, I'm serious. It's, when we did our top 3, I think it may have been my number 3. It's a fucking killer album.
It is.
Good. I'm glad you got.
And they're constant staples on the live tour now for them.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, number 1.
You know what it is, George. Just go ahead and say it out loud.
Celtic Frost, Monotheist.
Could be anything else, my friend.
And that is my number 4.
Yeah, that's To this day, I mean, well, I remember when it came out. I got it, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't believe what I'm hearing. And not only that, but I feel like it's this band that came back and kind of picked up right where they left off, but also, well, like you said in the previous pod, by the way, completely relevant modern record. Jesus, that's a good record. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right. Well, I'm going to surprise everybody with my number one and go with Iron Maiden, Brave New World.
Yes. Yes.
I bet you didn't see that one coming.
I did not. No, not even a little bit. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Iron Maiden is truly one of my all-time favorite metal bands, and when Bruce left, I remember me and the guys I lived with at the time, we did a pay-per-view of Bruce's last concert. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's the horror thing. I don't remember what it's called.
And they at the end they impaled Bruce and leave him dead on the stage. And I was so bummed when he left. And so for him to come back, I remember I went to Record and Tape Trader, the old location, before they moved across the street into that bigger store. And I fucking went out there and bought that CD and was just, loving it. So I was so happy that he was back.
George can't open it anymore because it's fucking cum filled. That's fucking
glued shut.
George welded that together with his love.
It's that good, though. Thank God for MP3s, man. You can't ruin those.
Number one, Buke.
Black Sabbath 13.
I was considering that one, and I thought that was too obvious. But
George, you have to admit, we love that album.
Oh no, I'm not knocking you at all. It's definitely worthy of a number one. I loved that album.
The riffs are there. The recording is there. They start to finish. The whole album.
Yeah. I just figured that you would expect me to do that one, and so
that's what I did. I did.
So,
but yeah, it's amazing. I know we get some shit from Godless and them sometimes for listing that, but I think it's a great album.
Fuck them, yeah. It was my album of the year that year.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Good choice, man. And actually, I'm surprised that you, not because it's a bad record, but I just didn't see that coming. Yeah. All right, cool. That was a cool one.
All right. Nice top three.
That was a great top three.
Moving on. What are you listening to, Jay?
I got four titles. I'm going to go through them pretty quick. Employed to Serve, that one I mentioned as the new release. That's awesome. Grayer than you remember. I just got into these guys, and I bet you guys know them. Not those guys, but the next band I want to mention. Metalheads.
Yes.
Do you know them?
Yeah, the new Metalheads album.
Yeah, it's so good.
It is.
You sent me them, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a top album this year.
Me too, dude. Without question, I'm hooked on that record right now. It's going to be in the top. Okay, now I got one that I'm wondering if you know about, and if it might be one of the ones I beat you to the table on, George, that I know you're going to love if you haven't heard it. It's a band called Ex Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
Check that shit out. Record. They got an EP out called Aphotic Well. This is probably going to be in my top 10 this year.
Wait, that sounds familiar.
It's kind of like, they're kind of like a big doomy, deathy Shamash meets. There's a little Opeth in there. It's hard to describe, but it kind of gets into these grooves and then it throws you surprises like every 3 minutes. It's great. And then my last one is Venom. I saw you got this on vinyl recently, George, and I just finally picked it up from the very depths, and I've been listening to that. That's a good record. I like that record.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's one of the better Venom later releases.
Right.
So that's my listenings.
Cool. What do you got, Buke?
Okay, I have been listening to classic death metal band Entrails and their new album Obliteration.
Swedish.
Yep. Came out, Swedish band, came out May 14th. Classic death metal. Has probably my favorite song of the year so far. Epitome of Death, track 2.
Epitome? Is that how you say it?
How do you say it?
Epitome?
Is that correct? Epitome? E-P-I-O-T? Is that epitome?
E-P-I-T-O-M-E.
Yeah.
Epitome.
Okay.
Epitome. You've got a definitely a much more metal twist on the word. I'll give you that.
You know I'm a fucking idiot when it comes to grammar and spelling.
It came from the epitome. It's like the center of the tomb.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like
whatever.
Epitaph, you know. It's
epitome.
I agree.
Of
that was
fucking
one that
death.
on Fox for us. That's a good record.
This album is killer. Just brutal.
Yeah.
I heard their remaster album that came out, what was it? Yeah, last year. They remastered a bunch of their demos, resurrected from the grave. So I like them a lot.
Yeah. What was I going to
Are
say?
you into that? Are you into that record, George? That intros?
Yeah, I like that.
I tried to find them all at Death Fest, and I couldn't find a shirt or vinyl.
Really?
Yep.
Is it even officially out yet?
Yeah.
Is it?
May 14th.
Right on. Oops. I mean, excellent.
Right on.
Right
It
on.
is.
Right on.
Maybe I should start saying it twice. Right on, right on. All right. I'm listening to a band that you probably haven't heard of. I only found them through Bandcamp. They're called Gorilla Monsoon, and the album it's their third album. It's called Fire God Feeding the Beast. And they're a German sludge band. And it's basically it's fucking sludge. It's heavy as fuck, and it is what it is. It's heavy music. I ordered the vinyl through
I'll check it out.
Bandcamp.
I just Googled it while you were talking, and apparently there was an old wrestler called Gorilla Monsoon because that's the only thing that came up.
Yeah, they named themselves after the wrestler. He's dead now. But
Okay.
go Gorilla Monsoon Band, and it'll come up.
Cool.
So yeah, check them out on Bandcamp. They're fucking heavy. You know, they're a German band with sort of a southern sound. So, all right, let's move on to our classics. What do you got, Jay?
I don't know, I'm going to mislead people, but I guess we do what are we listening to so people know it. But I keep picking the kind of some punk stuff. But I mean, I did Suicidal Tendencies last week. And anyway, this week, Misfits Walk Among Us. I was listening to this week. I hadn't listened to it in a while. That's a good record, man. That's a good record from start to finish. Fast, hard little tracks. Good stuff.
Yeah, I love Meet the Misfits, and that's a great one.
Do you have those on vinyl, George?
I don't. It's funny. I first saw it on vinyl again. It must have been a reissue.
Yeah.
Like a year and a half ago, and it was like $40. And I was like, I like it, but man, $40.
You can get it for $17 now.
Yeah, and then I saw it at Death Fest for $17, and I meant to grab it along with that Green Carnation one for $10, and I forgot.
Yep.
You can get it through. Because I was listening to it, I thought, let's see if it's out, and they changed the cover a little. By the way, the color is a little different, so it kind of doesn't have that. It's like pink, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like you can get it at Walmart now for $17.
Really?
But anyway,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, this was online. I saw. So anywho,
Right. I'll check it out.
classic albums.
Buke classic.
This goes back to our top 3 list, and this is my favorite from Death Angel, Act 3.
Act 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely my favorite one.
Seemingly
Seamless.
seemingly endless time, Veil of Deception.
Oh yeah.
The album's perfect from start to finish.
When that album came out, which was like 1990, I fucking ate that shit up. I mean, I first got Frolic Through the Park, which I think my first Death Angel album.
Up there.
Yep. And I love that. But then when Act 3 came out, their sound had matured so much. And it was just so good. And I saw them on that tour, and then they disappeared for, 15 years or whatever.
Yep.
And I was so bummed out when they didn't come up with a follow-up with that, a couple years later.
One of them was in a car accident or something, and it really.
They were in a van. We actually we talked to Mark, the singer, at Jack's before their show there. And that was my first question was like, dude, where have you been forever? And he said, we had a bus accident and a couple of people got hurt. And there was just, between people being hurt and insurance reasons for the accident and everything, we just couldn't make it work. And so, they broke up for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good record, though. Actually, that's a good choice, man.
It's a great, So thank you for the topic for our top 3, because maybe go back and listen to that album again.
Yeah. Well, you're going to roll your eyes at me, Buke. My classic album from 1995 is Storm Crow Fleet from Skepticism.
Oh. Okay.
After Death
seeing
Fest,
them,
I went back and I listened to all their stuff, and I was just like, this is the only one old enough to make it in the classics. So this is their first album. It's like pioneering funeral
Did they have
doom
the
metal.
same sound at the start?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Would you say they are the start of Funeral Doom?
No. I mean, 95? I don't know. There's got to be something older than that. But definitely a pioneer.
Okay.
So, 20 years ago. So
Right on.
there you have it. All right. Now for the new category that we didn't really, I think we skipped it on the last one.
Yeah, we did.
But
We were just so fucking busy.
yeah, and we had to wrap things up because everybody had to leave. This was another one of Jay's ideas called New Vinyl Acquisitions.
Yeah, this is going to get all.
New vinyl.
New
acquisition.
We got a little recording stuff at the studio. You know what, man? I'll put together some little things for these segments. I'll
That'd
do
be cool.
That would be fucking cool.
Yeah.
If Jay's like, news, new releases.
I can do that easy.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, we need some jingles. I've been meaning to do that.
Willow, yeah.
Willow off good.
I'm going to get some sound bites.
We just need a soundboard. We can just drop sounds when we're.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, but we do need drops.
we do. I just haven't gotten around to
Okay,
doing
well,
it.
we have a fucking musician right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
dude, I'm going to put some. We'll put some shit together.
Cool.
We've got to do that.
Yeah.
Who's going to start this off?
I will.
Go for
At
it.
Death Fest, my recent vinyl acquisitions were Gruesome, Savage Land, Decapitated, Blood Mantra, an amazing technical death metal album.
Hell yeah.
And they got a new,
Bloodbath. What?
but they got a new release we didn't mention. We'll have to get it next time. There's a new Decapitated. Oh, no, it's Cattle Decapitation. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
That's fine.
Continue.
Bloodbath, I got their Creeping Death EP.
Breeding Death. Creepy Death is Metallica.
Sorry.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I forgot. You don't like Opeth or Bloodbath. I forgot. Of course, you wouldn't know the name. You don't really like them.
Thanks.
Have you ever heard of Opeth, fan?
Nope. Blackwater Mountain?
Sorry. Yeah, really. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm just playing with your balls.
I know you are. I know. I picked up Royal Thunder. I'm really high on that album right now. That's awesome. Sounds amazing on vinyl. I picked up Serpentine Path. Can't really think of anything else right now. George?
Well, I picked up a lot of vinyl at Death Fest, and I'm not going to name it all because damn. And because
Yeah.
I know somewhere there's a brewmaster named Will who would just fucking be like, come on, man, cut it out. Stop buying all that vinyl you're not going to listen to. But technically, Will, I will listen to it. I will.
Okay. Good
All right.
guitars.
So these are the choice cuts from what I picked up at Maryland Death Fest. Surprised Buke didn't mention this. The Amorphous Tales of the Thousand Lakes Maryland Death Fest version, supposedly limited to 100 copies. But you know what I found? Did you look on Discogs? Yeah, it's not limited to 100. They may have brought 100.
What?
But that blue thing, it's like 1,100 copies.
Well, is it colored?
No, don't say that.
It is.
Because when I added it, it wasn't on Discogs.
Right, exactly. But the version that's on there is the same. The blue swirly vinyl that we have is an 1,100 run. Ours just has a sticker on it that says MDF 100.
And I threw that away. Hey, I also picked up Anguish in their Mountain.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. I also picked up, as I already mentioned, the Arcturus album Arcturian, Tau Cross, the band featuring the singer from Amoebics and Away, the drummer for Voivod. I picked up the new Shining album, which is called 9, Shining 9. Everyone, Everything, Everywhere Ends. I also got the new Unleashed album, Dawn of the Nine, and the album Death by Burning from Mantar, which is like a duo.
I listened to that the other day. That was actually really good. I was playing my game and I put that on Spotify.
Yeah.
That was really good.
It was on my list last year
Yeah, it was.
somewhere. It's further down, but it was on there.
Cool.
So, Jay?
Were those all Death Fest pickups?
Yes,
Yep.
those all were, yeah.
All right, mine's a mixed bag. I had to stop somewhere, so I just kind of limited myself to 10 here. But a couple I've mentioned to you guys. One's a band called Sabbath Assembly, a record called Ye Are Gods, which I kind of want to pimp to people a little bit. It's not really a metal record. It's like this weird acoustic record of this old 60s cult band, and this new band went back and found their music and played it. Killer weird record. Picked up 1349's Massive Cauldron of Chaos and white vinyl. That's cool.
Nice.
This one
I
was
saw that at
George.
Death
I got
Fest and I
a,
thought of you if you wanted me to grab it, but you didn't tell me to grab it, so I didn't.
I'm glad too because I got it. But it's cool. Cool package too. It's one of those ones that came with some posters and shit.
Cool package, dude.
Got Candlemass, King of the Grey Islands. I really like that record. It's a heavy record. Since the last time, it's been a while since I got this, but I still want to mention it. I got Mastodon Leviathan signed, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Got Goat Horror, Constricting Rage of the Merciless, which I dig. This is one of my favorite bands. I got Rush 2112, and I got it because I do like that record, but also I wanted to get it's got these pentagram holograms in the center, and that's cool. That's kind of a neat little thing that works.
Right on.
I got, and then I got my Holy Grail, and then a few more things to mention. I got my Holy Grail Celtic Frost Monotheist recently. So happy. And then these ones are in the mail, so I can't, but I have to mention them because Buke was kind enough to pick them up for me. He picked me up 2 Nile records, In Their Darkened Shrines, Annihilation of the Wicked, and Foundations of Burden by Paul Bearer, which has also been in heavy rotation with me still. So thanks for picking those up for me, dude.
That's why I'm his favorite, George.
Yes.
It's all about the presents.
It's all about the presents. Just wait till Christmas.
That's right.
I'm going to send in my whole vinyl collection.
It's kind of a relief, though, that we've got that off because we were going to do them the last pod, so that those lists were getting a little too long.
I know.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to leave things out because it would have just been like... And then it'd be like the Book of Genesis, really, honestly. It'd just be like, oh, and then I got this one, and then I got this
Someone
one.
begat so much.
that would made me, I thought of that one, so I got this one. And all right. Well, I guess we're about ready to wrap this one up, put it to bed. Before we go, we should mention you should check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I am Disciple OV Metal. And
I caught shit for it. I'm Opeth fan.
Opeth fan. And Jay.
And Jay, Catatonic Jay.
Right on.
On Twitter.
You can also find us on Instagram and YouTube, Stitcher, and of course at metalheadspodcast.com. Before we go, we're going to play you another song from the band Lysithea. This is the epic song Death Chant.
Go